Coast. Transitioning to your top political headlines, I want to take you out to Washington, D.C. and give you a live look at the White House. Speaking of Hegseth, we're learning the U.S. Secretary of Defense is lashing out this morning at a journalist who has accused administration officials of using a text messaging app to share sensitive war plans. The administration is now investigating the claim, but as Fox News Channel's correspondent Doug Luzeta reports this morning, the White House does not deny that it happened.
We are already hearing calls here on Capitol Hill to investigate what happened. At the very least, this is quite a window into national security operations within the administration. When the U.S. launched airstrikes against Yemen earlier this month, they were supposed to be carried out in secret. But the editor of The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, says he had a heads up.
They were plans for the attack. They were texted before the attack.
Goldberg says he was inexplicably invited to join a texting group on the messaging app Signal. It included top national security officials, the vice president, and the Secretary of Defense. An unusual venue for what appeared to be highly sensitive information.
Why would they do it on Signal? Why would they do this on a messaging app? And why would they invite the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic to watch?
I don't know anything about it.
The president said he wasn't aware of it, but the White House later seemed to confirm the authenticity of the texts.
This is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does.
But Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, arriving yesterday in Hawaii, lashed out at the reporter and denied the central accusation.
Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that.
No, that's a lie. He was texting war plans.
Goldberg stands by his story and has released...
That's a lie. Yeah, I'm a believer Goldberg, right? Yeah, well, good morning, guys. It is, what is it? Bro, there's a lot of things on my desk. I think I need to buy a new desk, bro. It is 8:28 right now. In 2 seconds. And boom, 8:28 right now. Let me just set up a little bit more. I had a good morning. A lot of things. I had to get a lot of things done. I didn't even sleep. I slept for like 3 hours, and then I woke up around like 11 o'clock at night, and I just learned how to Photoshop for about 3 hours. Did that for about 3 hours, and that's the thumbnail you got right now, okay? That's all I got. That's all I got right now. That's the thumbnail you get, okay? That is the thumbnail that you will get for right now. As I progress, this is a new journey for me, okay? Don't judge me, all right? Yeah, that's it right there. Oh, yeah. Look at that thing. Right now. Oh, yeah. There it is. There's my fucking face. There's my face. There it is. As I progress. All right. So, yeah, that's a thumbnail right there, isn't it? I can see. Like, as you see, like, there's a reason why I put those thumbnails as my past videos, because it's like, it's called the red pill, man. I'm the red pill trader, so I'm seeing the code. I'm seeing code. Everywhere I go, I'm seeing the code. So that's like the analogy, kind of. Anyways, we have escalated a lot. Oh my God. Let's start deleting a lot of shit here. Ooh. Alright, we're going to have to do this more effectively. Alright. So price has gone up more, which is good. Alright, which is good. You know what that means? Premium price. Yes, if you guessed right, give yourself a pat on the back. Okay. Alright, I did an afternoon stream without my voice or my face. I just recorded it as like a live stream, and you would get this thing right here. So we're currently $321 in profit. We're consistently going on streams, sometimes 2 streams a day. You know, just stuff like that. You know, like I'm trying to be more consistent and then level up my game. So leveling up my game means learning how to fucking Photoshop, learning how to make engagement happen. So so thumbnail is a key to getting more clicks on your video. So that's why I learned it. It's not like, you know, a big thing, but the more, like, I'm gonna watch more videos on how people make their thumbnails, and then I'll try to copy theirs, and then I put my own little twist on, and then I'm like, oh, okay, here you go. Okay. But right now I'm learning the tool. Right now I'm learning the tool. I want to learn what each thing does before I go and copy and pretty much copy like thumbnails and shit. I want to see their layouts. I want to see their layers. I want to see all that shit. I'll be like, okay, that's how you do it. All right. And then I'll have like a more of a in-depth idea of how they're doing it and how they come up to that nice thumbnail that I always see. I'm like, holy shit, bro, that's a nice thumbnail, bro. Like, it's very engaging. So editing is a new thing for me. It's very new, very new, very new. And I'm gonna master. It's another thing to master. If I master the financial charts, I can master a fucking software. All right, as you can see, price is rallying up above the new week opening gap here, which is cool. Totally okay with that. I wanted that to happen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of want somewhere around here, to be honest. What else? Because we got this new week, not the new week, man. We have this opening gap here, okay? This, not opening gap. This volume imbalance with a sell side inefficiency. So we have this, and then we have this at the bottom too. So it's like, okay, two for two. So once we get somewhere around here, I think we're gonna make the high of the day around 10 o'clock. So it's about an hour and a half. So in about an hour and a half, we should make the high of the day. Okay, and then around that, we should roll over, is my opinion. I think we should roll over somewhere around 10 o'clock. We'll see. We'll see. But we're going to try and catch the sells off of this, because I don't think it's going to go any further than this. Because we got tariffs next week. So a lot of uncertainty in the market. So before we get on the topics, let's chop up the charts real quick. Chop it up. Okay, let's see what happened during what happened during Asia, what happened during London. All right, where's Asia? Asia's right here. So I'm just showing you how I chop it up, okay? Well, I want to ignore everything here, but except for this, we'll just add that. Okay, we'll add that, boom. That'll be our buy side liquidity, which is boom, boom, boom. Look at that, consolidation, dun, dun. And we have, I think, a red folder today. Let's see. I think we had a red folder, I'm pretty sure. No, we don't. Today's the 25th? Okay. We have an orange folder at 9 a.m. and then at 10 a.m. Okay. Apply settings. Oh, and we had PMI on Monday? Didn't look like it. Yesterday was fucking grueling. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. That shit was grueling. I was like, fuck. So, all right, Tuesday, we have some orange folders, not too medium impact nudes. Okay, so, and then we got the 12 a.m. right here. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I need to share the video that I'm online. I need to show it on X. Follow me on X. I don't think I have that link. No, I don't. I don't have that link on there. I should. Fuck. But anyways, I need to put my X link on there. Maybe. I don't know because I'd be reposting some shit on X, bro. What in the oh shit. Yo, Myron has no chill, bro. Yeah, like look at this video, bro. Like, what is this, bro? Look at this bullshit, dude. Look this
my husband surprised his son.
My husband surprised his son by taking him to prom. Look at this, look at this. Look at this gay ass shit, dude. What the fuck? So feminine. You know why dudes, you know why, I'm getting like an idea of why like boys turn into this. Because I think it's either the TV, the mother of the household is too masculine. TV, movies, social, high school shit, and then mom is too masculine, and then you got a little bit of essay in the childhood, you know, a little bit of essay in the childhood, and then he probably seen some corn when he was younger, and it was probably gay corn. So yeah, I think that's a mix of all that, and then you just put it into the child, and then he grows up into this. Like, I'm just being dead ass. Like, either he hates his mom so much that he thinks he could be a better woman, which is weird, but I don't know. That's what psychologists have been doing. That's pure psychology. Oh my God, why is it so dark? Oh my goodness, so dark. Oh man, I need a light in this room. Anyways, so it's like, I don't know, man. You get a whole mixture of that. You get this kid. That's a fucking dude. Now I see why. Oh my God. Bro, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? What kind of shit are we getting into, bro? What kind of shit is this?
Hey, it's the 14th. You know it's due on the 1st, right?
It's due when?
On the 1st?
It's due when I pay it. Fuck you talking about?
Instant eviction. Oh my God. You see, like, this is why you don't fucking run to Anyways, enough of the racism. Don't care. They do it to themselves, man. They do it to themselves. I love Twitter, man. Twitter's like, yo, like, these niggas are fucking crazy. I'm just like, yes, they are. They don't know what they do. but they think they're always right for some reason. Why do they always think they're right? It's weird. It's definitely weird, man. Why do they think they're correct? No, I'm gonna keep this 930 opening gap. Okay. So what we're gonna look at is for this to roll over. Just this for it to roll over, honestly. And yeah, just wait until this rolls over because it went do discount turtle soup into this order block, this old ass order block. Okay, this was a secured order block. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. So yeah, we're gonna wait until 10 o'clock. So if it goes down from now, it'll be just considered a retracement. And then 930 continues to go down. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna make it look like it, how I want it to look like, how I envision it to look like. I don't know. But it's gonna look like something though. Alright, so this is the 7 a.m. We got an order block here at the 7 a.m. So we're gonna see how price reacts to this. Alright. And we're gonna get into the topics. We're gonna get into the topics. Got a lot to talk about, a lot of videos to watch. We got Nick Fuentes to watch. We got leaked messages. We're gonna hear a lot of opinions. We're gonna formulate our own. I need a light I need a light fixture. That's for damn sure. Like for real, I need a light fixture because I need a light fucking beaming on me right now. Holy, I'm gonna order that shit right now on Amazon. Yeah, I have to order that shit because I don't like the lighting. The lighting has gotten darker and darker and darker. I wonder why. Hold on. Ignore my face. Ignore it. Disable. Disable. I'm ugly. Disable. Creative look. Boom. Nighttime. Whoa. Okay, that's a more warmer look. Okay. Okay, let's see how that looks. Ooh. How does that look? Does that look good? Creative look. There's a lot of things here. Oh, shit. Standard. Okay, we're going to stay with standard. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. Chill. Chill. Alright, chill. I can't... Light from behind me is not going to work. It's just not going to work. Oh yeah, I need to buy a dog for my son. That's also a thing I have to buy. Jesus Christ. Bro, there's a lot of things I gotta buy. I was watching Andrew Tate earlier, no, not earlier, bro. Like fucking in the beginning of my journey. That's why I'm kind of the way that I am right now. It's because of Andrew Tate's no bullshit concept. There's gonna be a point where you buy everything you need and then just nothing else to buy. And then everything else to you is just useless. And I'm in the process of buying everything I need that's considered an investment that's gonna be long term. Like my computer. I have a graphics card the size of the size of my fucking water. I have a graphics card that big. And I have an Intel, I think number 12th generation. Bro, like, I upgraded I got a camera, $500 camera, bro. I got stereos. I got a lot of shit. I got a new mic. If you look at my old videos, I got a fucking fucked up $40 Chinese made mic. Now I have a studio mic, a dynamic mic, which doesn't pick up too much noise on the background, but it does a little bit, but it's fine. But anything else, that's fucking cool. What does this mean? Oh, the brightness. There we go. Oh, shit. That's better. Oh, my God. Yo, look, I'm not even dark no more. Look at me. Would you look at me? Oh, shit. That's fucking dope. All right, and then, yeah, man, I did a lot of investments, man. A lot of, you know, like, I only bought a few things that were like, oh, this is just for me. You know? I only got a few things of those. But, and they're cheap, too. Those just for me things. Where's my... No. Right here, there it is. Like my cheap things that I have is this. Like cards. I like to flip cards, bro. I fucking love it. I like doing the deck shuffle thing. Where it just goes. I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, oh man. That feels so good, man. But alright, let's get into it, man. Well, let's see what's on fucking on Twitter, bro. Cause there's some shit on Twitter. What is this game?
Okay. Y'all like to see you south. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. Hey, you don't get paid for all that. All right. This my question though. But she's fine. Don't turn around. Y'all like a girl? Y'all gonna let me ask my question?
Ew, bro, she does not look good. That's like a fucking 4, bro. Like, yo, I swear, bro. Like, I used to have their mentality about women, but like, yeah, not anymore, bro. I really think about it. I really think about, like, I don't look at girls the same anymore, like I used to. Like, I detached myself from their body. Like, I don't care what you have. Like, I don't care. You can have a fat ass, nice titties, nice face, but it's the way you talk and your mannerisms is what I'm really paying attention to. Okay, and that is a 3. That is a 3.5. To them, that's like a 7 or a 10, bro. And it's you know why? It's because of this. Oh. Oh my God, takes off the shirt.
Hey, well, I got a question for y'all. What they did? You want to hear it? Okay. Y'all like to see you south. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. You don't get paid for all that. All right. This my question though. But she's fine. Don't turn around. Y'all like a girl? Y'all gonna let me ask my question?
Yo, you see that? Over a girl, bro. Yo, like, fuck, that's so predictable, bro. Holy. You'll never see me. Oh yeah, the trend. Here comes the trend, bro. Here what Andrew Tate has said 31 minutes ago. Normal people want normal lives, a life that people look at and are familiar with. Exceptional people want exceptional lives, a life that people look at and have never experienced. So ask yourself what you want and to understand who you are. Yeah. Unpopular opinion, there is no saving black people and the black nation. Facts, niggas are cooked. like, retweet. Sorry. I'm trying to save some black people. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm trying to save them, dog. I just can't save them from themselves. I'm just like, okay, there's a way, and it's up to you. If you don't think there's a way for you through this, hey man, I can't help you, dog. Oh yeah, they got fucking pillars in a fucking pyramid now. Under the pyramid. If SARS scans the Karaf pyramid are accurate, and then this is how deep the pillars go under the bedrock. Holy, that's crazy. If that's true. Ben Shapiro is gay. Yes. The only Daily Wire can do is save their sinking ship is to defeat me in battle. Yes. Women like this end up 37 and complain when men no longer approach them. Don't worry, Becky. You'll be crying for men to give you attention soon. That's true, Ben. Hopefully she finds a husband before that. Why would anyone film this and post it genuinely? Oh my God, that's an overly amount of seed oil. Oh. Whoa, bro. Oh, God. What is she making? I have to know. I have to know what she's making. I have to know. I have to know what she's making, bro.
Mommy, that's my book. Book, please. Mommy, can I have my real book, please? Not right now.
Where's the father? Where the fuck is dad? See, I'm a dad, and I can't even be a dad because mom doesn't think I could be a dad. That's the fucked up part. But I'm more of a dad. I'm more of a parent than anyone. I can actually run with my kid. Holy shit. That's crazy. See? You see this? This is your representative, Colorado. State Rep Amy Pascal, Democrat, was spotted playing with a coloring game during the debate on gun control bill. Stickers can also be seen on her desk. Is this a senior daycare center? Yes! Yes, it is! That's how I see most representatives. It's just retirement work for them, I think. I think it's mostly retirement work for them, man. To be honest with you, man.
You could say a few words.
Thank you, President. As far as we are hearing a lot about fraud, waste, and abuse, a lot of waste and abuse, but there is a tremendous amount of fraud. And Elon, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your team. You have uncovered so much fraud in our government, and we will prosecute you. We have an internal task force now working with every agency sitting here at this table. And if you've committed fraud, we're coming after you. Thank you, Elon, for that. On the violent crime level, thanks to President Trump's directive, we are seeking the death penalty again. So all of these horrible, violent criminals that you're hearing about around the country, they will face the death penalty federally within our country. And
damn right.
Drug dealers need to get out of here because we are coming after you. We're going to have 94 great U.S. attorneys around this country, and everyone will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Let's get it done.
Thank you, President. It's at your directive.
I think you're doing such a fantastic job. I thought maybe you could say a few words.
Thank you, President. As far as
let's get it done, man. I think that's the only way people start acting accordingly. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think death has to be put on the table. I don't think time restrictions like going to jail is working anymore. I think death penalty. I think that would send a message to most of these people. Get caught, get put to death. Holy. I'd be like, you know what? I'm down with that. When Sneaker returns to Christianity, we will be here to welcome him soon, God willing. Stop coping. You can't even defend your beliefs. Why would he return to paganism when he found it? Bro, Christianity's not paganism, nigga. Fuck off. See, I'm sorry. Islam is cool, but they're fucking insufferable. Like, they're insufferable like people. They act like Jewish people. Like, they're like Jews adjacent. Like, they're insufferable, bro. Insufferable people, bro. I'm like, oh my God. You're so annoying. Like, I'm so serious. Like, most Muslim people are annoying. I'm like, bro. Even Christian people, like Catholics, can be annoying, but God damn, mostly Muslims are annoying as fuck. Damn, bro. I'm like, yo, this is so insufferable. Hey, Belly, stop rubbling. Stab it. Is this violence? I think this is violence. Ooh. All right, listen to this.
Was with the Small Business Administration, where they were handing out loans, $330 million worth of loans to people under the age of 11. I think the youngest, Kelly, was a 9-month-old who got a $100,000 loan. That's a very precocious baby we're talking about here.
We're tackling the fraud, waste, and abuse in the agency. We've seen
Tulsi!
Hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud go unprosecuted, so we're taking that on. We have a zero tolerance policy for fraud, and we can
Tulsi Gabbard, that's Babe.
And make sure people are held accountable.
And you have a lot of that. You found far too much of it. It's a pure fraud. We like to use the words waste and abuse because they sort of sound good, but many of these things are pure fraud. Now, there was a contract that you've heard about where Stacey Abrams got $2 billion just before we took over, and it was a...
Hell yeah, man. You see that headline? $4 trillion in business coming back to the U.S. I'm telling you, bro, if you don't have commercial buildings, my nigga, you're not going to make any money, bro. Real estate is out of the fucking park right now. Real estate is not it. Like, regular single-family homes is not it right now. It's not. Commercial buildings? Yes. Farmland? Yes. Reservoirs? Yes. Natural resources? Yes. Yeah, bro. If you start investing in these things, you're going to make money in the next 4 years. Money. I can't really invest right now because I don't have that much money to invest. But if I could take out like a $500,000 loan, oh yes, commercial buildings, bro. It's gonna be for manufacturing, bro. Oh God, I don't care. You can tell women have been completely gassed up because they think someone is going to break into their hotel rooms and go to prison to have sex with them. Oh shit. I have more danger. People will kill me over you, man. You know that, right? Okay. Like, men experience more violence than women. proportionally. That's just facts. Just facts. Because we know what violence is.
Getting old. He's not the dog he used to be, and I'm gonna have to get used to it. Just like I got used to my acrylic nails. Daniel Weinstock and Reisman. Hey, Miranda. No, I got 4 people on hold, but I can't talk.
Oh my God. Oh, look at this.
Inside the White House last week. I sure you like to comment, Congresswoman, about the Hamas flag being flown outside the White House? Would you like to condone it or condemn it?
What are you talking about? I love you too.
I took footage last week, Congresswoman, of the Hamas flag being flown outside the White House during a Free Palestine protest.
That sounds ridiculous. You can't condemn it.
Would you like to condemn it? Woman, will you condemn the Hamas flag being flown outside the White House?
You know she married her brother so he could get citizenship. That's this type of woman right here. All right, let's watch. Oh yeah, that's a Hamas flag, baby. Oh shit. That's not good. Yo, you fucking put a you put a Israel flag in that crowd, you're gonna get fucked up, bro.
Can you get off of him? Yor. Get off my man. Get off of him. Back up off my man. Oh. Wow.
Aw. See, I miss my son, man. My son wanted nothing but hugs, bro. I'd be like, ugh. Ooh, that breaks my heart, man. That breaks my heart. It does break my heart. Like, sometimes I miss my son, bro. That's all I know. I miss him. I just hope, I know God is protecting him. Send them angels to be protected, because I'm coming for him, bro. Oh God, no. Military valiant to Tesla protest. I am the one buying a Tesla because of you people. I'm only here to buy a Tesla because of you people. True American. Oh man, another routine, bro. Armed security. Yep, that's Brickle. Gay. On a British bus somewhere, people, please stop eating. I'm fasting for, oh my God, please. You're insufferable. Insufferable. Muslims are insufferable, bro. Can't do nothing around them, bro. They're like so Jewish. Muslims are so Jewish. We'll write that. Like, they both act the same, bro. Act the same. and do the same. All right, let's see what price is doing. Ooh, okay. All right, we go from here to here. What does that land? That lands nowhere near where I want to be. Where would it have to stop in order for this to be the order block? It would have to stop right here. That's what it would have to stop. What time is it? 9:06. Yeah, we're almost done. I know, I'm just scrolling through Twitter, man, seeing if we got any news. I know. Oh, shit, he got shot. You guys know that? Sauce Walker got shot. I don't give a fuck. He's a degenerate. Democrats trying to make this girl the new AOC. Oh, my God, please. Oh, I want to throw up. I don't see it. Anyways. Bro, she's not even that hot, bro.
However, yeah, Sean, it is. And you know, after she said that about Elon, she said, well, I didn't mean violence. But, however, your words have consequences. And what happened after she said that about Elon Musk, she's a Texan in her own home state. After she said that, this morning, 3 explosive devices were found in Austin, Texas. So she needs to unequivocally denounce the violence. She must apologize immediately, not only to all Texans, but to our country, to the American shareholders of Tesla, because she is promoting violence. And then you showed the clip of what she said about Senator Cruz. I believe she probably will be censured by Congress for saying that. You know, people don't learn. She's using her public persona, her public platform to increase her followers, to increase her significance, and she is threatening lives, safety. You know, when she did this at Tesla, Sean, people's lives are in danger. This is America. We're in a free country. And she's yet encouraging this violence in our country. Think of all the lives that could have been jeopardized in Texas just today by her words and what she's done. But she didn't stop with that. She continued on with Senator Cruz. She has to apologize immediately and denounce the violence.
Yeah, Jasmine Crockett is a fucking character. I don't like her at all. I don't think she understands what she's doing. I think she's just doing it for the clout. Everything she does is for the clout. I honestly believe that. AI robot programmed to give ethical advice turns racist and homophobic after studying 1.7 million real-life human examples. Based, nigga. What the fuck? Yo, that's based as fuck. So based. Ah, look at this. Yep, this is what you want to eat, guys. This is what you want to eat in India when you go to India. Yeah. So good. Yeah. So good. My stomach is about to... My stomach is about to fall out. It's going to fucking disintegrate. As soon as I eat it... Fucking, I could feel the germs spreading out like cockroaches in my body. Yeah, man, like, you don't do that. See, that's... Fuck, bro. I might turn into Kane, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I might have to turn into that nigga, dog. If I find out my kid has been M-worded, bro... Oh, my God, man. I just might have to turn into Kane. UFC Kane, bro. Started realizing that a lot of you want children for aesthetic. I can't wait for this. Yeah, they do. But you guys have no idea what it means to have a child. You have no idea. No idea. Oh, I need to turn off the air. Oh, it's getting too cold in here, man. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on. What is the news?
Some of the text stopping short of sensitive information. Democrats in Congress are demanding.
What is this?
No parent wants to find themselves in, but thankfully the child is with the parents this morning. Have a great rest of your day.
Whoa, man tried to snatch a 2-year-old child. Yo, like, oh my God, why am I... Stop. God, I swear to God, please protect my child. God, this is like the fuck, bro. Please. Let me go turn off this air. Bro. Stop putting negative thoughts in my head, bro. Stop it. All right. Okay. Let's get to it. Israel strikes Gaza, kills 23 people. Again, bro. This is the... Yesterday was another one. The day before that, it was a hospital.
As we are learning this morning from the Associated Press, Palestinian medics are reporting that Israeli strikes killed at least 23 people in the Gaza Strip overnight into Tuesday. The dead include 3 children and their parents who were killed in a strike on their tent near the southern city of Khan Yunis. Now, these reports are coming from Nasser Hospital. Hospital officials reporting they have received a flood of dead and wounded since Israel resumed heavy bombardment of Gaza last week, shattering the ceasefire that had halted the 17-month war. A lot to discuss this morning, so we want to bring into the conversation the expert, Executive Director of Scholars for Peace in the Middle East, Dr. Asaf Ramarwatsky. Dr. Asaf, good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Ramarwatsky?
Good morning, thank you for having me.
Who the look at this fucking guy, bro. What the fuck does he know? Fuck he know, bro. Middle East expert.
So these headlines continue to show that the ceasefire is no longer in place. There's been a lot of back and forth. Yesterday we were reporting how Nasser Hospital was hit by an Israeli strike. IDF officials learning that a Hamas militant was inside receiving treatment, but we're also seeing how innocent Palestinians are being impacted by this conflict, also innocent Israelis. Could you provide perspective, please?
Sure, let's contextualize the issue. So first of all, I mean, all of these hospitals, as we've seen at the beginning of the war, have served a dual purpose. They have served as Hamas bases, as Hamas rocket launchers. They've served as places where they've harbored intel as well as munitions. We saw that going back to the famous attack on the Shifa hospital. And so this is part of the Hamas tactics. That is to say that they take civilian entities and they turn them into terrorist ones, and that's part of the challenge that Israel has, as to your point, trying to disentangle, trying to remove how Hamas has basically embedded itself. Hamas is Palestinian society, and the challenges that you're facing today with the resumption of the fighting, with the war itself, with the war has never been over, and we are now basically about a month since phase one ended. And phase one ended, that was the last time we saw any kind of release of hostages. And there's been an attempt to try to continue the negotiation. That is to say, we want to continue the ceasefire. Hamas has refused to do so, given the fact that they know that the hostages are their lifeline. In the process, and the unfortunate reality is that there are casualties on both ends, and we've seen this at the beginning of the war itself, though it is important to note that the kind of urban warfare that Israel has been fighting at the expense of their own casualties and civilians, that's been a consistent tactic that they've been using in order to try to, again, create an environment where they could try to maintain these safe zones for the civilian population of Palestinian society, such as it is, which is very complicated to begin with, and they continue to push in those directions. Hamas is the one that puts them on the front lines in order to aggrandize the casualties and to create the exact end result that they have. And in this process, you see here innocent civilians and innocents get killed in the process, and that's the unfortunate reality of this war that's been going on, as you and I have been discussing now for over 17 months now, where you have innocents. And this is another point that I can't stress enough, that the people, the hostages who are going through hell inside of Gaza, there is no parallels between, those innocents, and Hamas sees all Israelis, all Jews as legitimate targets, as combatants, whereas the Israelis don't. And so the equilibrium that that they are looking to portray is non-existent also in that process, and that's also part of the challenge that we are facing here time and time again.
Yeah, Dr. Asaf, I know from the very beginning of this conflict, you were expressing how Hamas uses innocent Palestinians as literal human shields, of course, embedding themselves in everyday society, also these tent camps. Some confusion this morning and some questions surrounding these tent camps, because people were under the impression that they were supposed to be, quote unquote, safe zones. So people not understanding how innocent people are dying in these tent camps. Could you provide that perspective, please?
Sure. So this is part of the Hamas strategy. I mean, every time the Israelis have pushed the population to say, here are the safe zones, go in this direction versus another direction, in order to move the population. As we saw this back when Israel was going into Rafah near the border with Egypt, in order to remove where Hamas was and where Israel was, where the fighting was. Excuse me. What Hamas does intentionally is tell the civilian population, don't move, stay where you are, stay on the front lines, because they know the media is watching, because they know exactly what's going on, and they're looking to create the kind of imagery, the propaganda imagery, that there will be, Israel does not discriminate between population, which is indeed not the case. But in these safe zones, Hamas has been able to rear its ugly head and continues to do so. While Hamas is indeed devastated, I would say about 90%, as you can still see now with the resumption of the war, they still have capabilities. Rockets have been coming into Israel, into the southern parts. There are still, we're guesstimating 59 hostages. Again, part of this whole idea here with this resumption was to put pressure on Hamas that if they don't, then the war will continue. There are interlocutors with the Egyptians trying to put pressure on Hamas. The Egyptians themselves have said that until Hamas should be removed, and then we can continue to try to help in and take in some of the refugees and try to move along a calmer environment. This is the entanglement that we're in, and so long as the war continues, this is the Hamas strategy, then they know that they are around and they're around the table. Part of the confusion has been that over the past few weeks, we've also seen individuals like Adam Bowler, who made comments about Hamas being quote-unquote nice guys. The other day, Steve Witkoff actually admitted on record that he was duped by the actual sincerity of Hamas to actually negotiate an actual ceasefire. So there's a lot of confusion that's coming out even diplomatically when it comes to Washington playing a role in this. Positively, indeed, Washington and Jerusalem are on the same page when it comes to them fighting Hamas and, of course, also dealing with the larger threat of Iran, which, of course...
All right. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. It's all fucked, man. It's all fucked. It's all fucked. What do you want me to do, man? It's all fucked. They're fucking up people right there. Like, war, this is what war is. Man, I can't help those people. Anyways, man. I gotta look at that. The titles right there. They always save the title, don't they? They always save the title. How the fuck? The Shroud Studies. The Shroud Studies. I've been listening to that for a little bit. I'm going to listen to it by myself later. All right, let's listen to Nick Fuentes. Fuentes. Bro, I was debating to live stream on Rumble, but I gave you guys a chance. You know, I was like, you know what, man? I'm going to give you guys a fucking chance. I'm going to give you guys a chance. YouTube, I gave you a chance. You didn't give me a chance. I gave you a chance. Because tomorrow and later on today, I'm going to be on fucking Rumble.
And when they are predictable, you don't have as much volatility.
All right, 134. All right, here we go.
Free tonight. Very excited to be back here with you tonight on Monday. We have a lot to talk about tonight, lots to get into. Big show. Our featured story tonight, we're talking all about the signal leaks of American war plans in Yemen. What's going on? Maybe you've seen this, maybe you've heard about it. It's totally outrageous. Hours before the Trump administration bombed Yemen, the heads of the State Department, Defense Department, National Security Council, and other White House advisors started a group chat on the and they accidentally added to the group chat the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, which is a left-leaning publication. Inside the group chat, they discussed their imminent plans to bomb Yemen, including targets, how they would carry out the strike, when they would carry out the strike, and then they reacted to it live as it was happening inside the group chat. And so the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic was able to see all of this information. They were texting it to him. And today he published an article about the experience. including the text messages. He did not include any of the operational details of the strike, but he did reveal some of the messages by the Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, the Vice President. And so we'll be talking all about this tonight. It's a big scandal. The White House basically confirmed its authenticity and that they're investigating it. Some say it's illegal, that they were discussing sensitive wartime planning inside of an unsecured group chat, which also happened to include the media. So we'll talk. The White House basically confirmed its authenticity and that they're investigating it. Some say it's illegal, that they were discussing sensitive wartime planning inside of an unsecured group chat, which also happened to include the media. So we'll talk all about this article. And there are some people, and I think there's something to this, who say that maybe the whole thing is fake, but not in the way that you think. Some people are saying that it's authentic, but that it was effectively staged. And it was staged for one reason or another, maybe to make Vance look good based on what Vance said, and we'll talk about specifically what he said. Some say that it was staged to make other people look bad. Mike Waltz, the national security advisor, he's maybe the most pro-intervention, pro-war member of the inner circle. He is allegedly the one that added the journalist to the group chat. So they say that maybe it was staged to make him look worse for OPSEC reasons. That's operational security, because he leaked the messages, or because he's the one that's pushing for war. And I think that's a possibility we have to consider. So we'll talk all about that. That'll be our main story. We're also going to be talking tonight about the imminent Liberation Day. This is what the president is calling April 2nd. This is the day in which reciprocal tariffs will come into effect. And it's interesting because the president is repeatedly and consistently walking back his trade protectionist agenda. What was promised during the campaign is that when Trump was elected, he would put in place a 15% across-the-board tariff. That means all goods coming into the United States would be subject to a 15% tax, effectively. And he said the reason for the tariff is we collect revenue, and this will offset the tax cuts and other things that he promised. Also, this would make American goods more competitive. But then on top of that, he says that this could also be a tool for foreign policy, and he's used it in that way over the past few months. Well, he's since walked back the threat of a 15% across-the-board tariff. That's not happening. We're not really getting any tariffs at all, actually. He changed the threat now to a reciprocal tariff where we will levy the same tariff rate and on the same types of goods that other countries are applying to our exports. So, for example, they call them the Dirty 15, countries that have a 15% tariff on American goods, countries like India, Mexico, Canada, the European Union. We will put in place the same tariff that they put on us against them, against their goods. That was the promise. It was supposed to happen on April 2nd. Now they're walking that back. And so now we're not even getting reciprocal tariffs. Now Trump says, just little more than a week before this is supposed to even happen, now Trump is saying there won't be reciprocal tariffs. He said there will be targeted reciprocal tariffs, which means that some countries will have some tariffs on some goods. We don't know anything more than that. It's completely vague. This is another retreat. It was 15% across the board, then it was reciprocal. We know it's going to be substantially less than even reciprocal. So we'll talk all about the latest on tariffs. Stock market seems to be happy with the news. Bitcoin and the stock market were both up today on the news that Trump is once again retreating on the tariff threat. And I want to talk a little bit tonight in particular about this tariff policy. I was the most optimistic about tariffs compared to any of the other promises. We know that the big pillars of the Trump America First agenda are immigration, foreign policy, and trade. I am pessimistic about immigration and foreign policy. But trade, I thought, sounded much better in this cycle, at least during the campaign. And I thought, especially after Inauguration Day, with all of the tariff threats, I thought there was a much higher chance about immigration and foreign policy. But trade, I thought, sounded much better in this cycle, at least during the campaign. And I thought, especially after Inauguration Day, with all of the tariff threats, I thought there was a much higher chance of follow-through this time compared to last time. But here we are, just like everything else, a few months in, I guess 2 months in, and it's not looking good. Seems like we're not really doing what was promised. And in particular, and we'll touch on this tonight, there's two ways that you can look at a tariff policy. It's supposed to be an economic policy, but it seems like Trump is really only using it as a tool with foreign policy. So we'll flesh that out tonight. It's going to be a good show. Before we get into the news, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. We had a big show on Friday. If you missed it, I went over the JFK files on Friday, and we went pretty thoroughly into the JFK assassination conspiracy. It was a long show. I did like a 2-hour monologue talking about the whole thing, and even that wasn't enough. We talked about it on Friday. I said the topic is too big really to fit into any stream unless you spent like 12 hours on it. So it's a huge subject, but I tried my best to condense the most important parts and the big ideas about the JFK conspiracy into the show on Friday. So if you missed that, make sure to check it out. People are always asking me to do a deep dive on a subject, and that's the first time we've done one in a long time, at least on an historical topic. Usually I'll do a deep dive on foreign policy, what's happening in the Middle East, or current events. But this is the first time in a long time I've just chosen a subject and done a really thorough show about it. And it was fitting because we had the JFK files drop at the beginning of last week. So if you missed that, make sure to check it out. I've been thinking about doing more deep dives. And I don't want to give away my idea, but I know you guys really love shows like that when I do all information, especially when I do like a primer. People are always asking for a book list, really in-depth explanation. And so I'm thinking maybe this year I might produce more content like that. I'm not going to give away my idea, but I have been thinking a lot about this because, you know, the big problem with people when they get red-pilled is there's almost nowhere to go for really good information that is packaged in a way that is accessible and that isn't like crazy. So many people are becoming aware of the truth, and unlike mainstream conservatives or mainstream liberals, there's no publication you can go to, there's very few, where you can get all of the information about these forbidden topics, these highly censored, highly controversial topics. And if you do find the information, it's disorganized, the information isn't reliable, a lot of it's false, filled with red herrings, wild speculation, conspiracy theories. And if it's good, typically it's not accessible. We're talking like 30,000 word essays. Like one of the best resources that I use is the Unz Review. And I tell people to read it, but it's over a lot of people's heads. I think it's great. I think it's great writing. But for example, he'll do a piece about the Holocaust. It's 30,000 words. Most people are not going to read that. So, you know, we really need to do a better job bringing the material to the people in a way that is digestible. Shorter videos, longer videos, but information that's gold standard with credibility, but also delivered in a way that's a little bit more digestible than some of the stuff that's out there. So anyway, I tried to do that on Friday, but I'm thinking about better ways to do that in the future. The other thing I wanted to throw out there before we get into the news, what is going on with Trent Horn? I saw this on Twitter today. I actually thought it was an older video, but if you've never heard of him, Trent Horn is this popular Catholic apologist. He goes on the Whatever podcast on YouTube, and he's got his own channel. He's big on Catholic Answers, and he does work for a couple of other organizations. But he's fairly popular on social media. He's also Jewish. He's ethnically Jewish. And this guy cannot stop talking about me. He's done many videos about me over the years, and he's accused me of being a bad Catholic because he says I hate Jews and I'm a Holocaust denier, and also I'm sexist and I hate women and I'm racist and I hate minorities and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of people say this about me. But he made another video about me today, and he said that I am like angry and hate women. A few months ago, around the time of the election, there was this meme going around called Wife Jack. It's like a cartoon, a Wojak meme of like a guy's wife. And it was the gayest shit imaginable. It's like, it was a Wojak of a person's wife, but it wasn't even funny. It was just like a female Wojak. A Wojak is like that, it's like that white cartoon guy. And it was like their wife just saying relatable shit like, I went to Target and bought something on sale. Like the shit wasn't even funny. It was just it was supposed to be these like relatable memes like shit your wife says. And it's like, who is this for? Is this made for just like the lowest T, like gayest men imaginable? Feet are cold, or like, I went to Target and bought something on sale.
He's like, yo, what is this made for? Like low T beta males?
Like the shit wasn't even funny. It was just it was supposed to be these like relatable memes like shit your wife says. And it's like, who is this for? Is this made for just like the lowest T, like gayest men imaginable and we're supposed to believe men are sharing these with each other? Oh, my wife always says that. That's hilarious. She's so adorable. And then it was mutating, which whatever. Maybe some people find that funny. I don't find that. I don't find the end of the male life cycle amusing at all. Maybe some people find that funny. But then it mutated into something really perverse. Maybe you think they're funny. Whatever. I think that's really gay. But whatever. But then it turned into something completely different, where people were saying it was political. People said there was this, it represented this political cultural victory, because they said that in the old days, our parents and our grandparents made jokes about hating their wife. You know, they'd say things like, oh, take my wife, for example. No, really, take her. You know, there were all these jokes. Boomers, they say, promulgated this like cultural stereotype that men hate their wives, like men can't stand their wives drive them crazy. And so people were saying not only is the meme funny, which again, super gay, but they were saying actually it's a triumph over our parents, because our parents hated their wives, and that's toxic. We love our wives. We love our wives so much, and we don't care who knows. I love my wife so much. And they were saying, isn't that such a sweet fucking wholesome Chungus thing that we all love our wives? And I said, that is just repulsive and incorrect and just disgusting. And anyway, but that's what was going on at the time. It was totally outrageous. Someone had to say something. Someone had to do something about it. Of course, that person was me. I had to stand up to these people and get attacked for it. Maybe that's why someone tried to kill me at my house. We'll never know. He died, but maybe his motivation is he liked the wife jack meme. Anyway, but I was very outspoken about it, and Trent Horn does a video about me and says, oh, well, that's not Catholic at all because you're supposed to love your wife and all this. And then he even put Thomas Aquinas on blast. Thomas Aquinas, the doctor of the church, literally the smartest man that ever lived, said that a husband can reprimand his wife and also strike his wife to discipline her. And Trent Horn said, oh my gosh, that is sexist. That is not cool. He said in the comments of his own video, he said, how do we feel about the fact that men can hit their wives, but women can't hit their husbands? So the video's totally ridiculous. It's totally outrageous. But honestly, the thing that's really getting beyond the pale, the thing that's really frustrating is these fucking Jews that talk trash about me nonstop. It's other people too, but it's also a lot of Jews that do this. I'm talking about Andrew Klavan, Ben Shapiro, Trent Horn. All these Jews do is talk trash about me. That's all they do is like concern troll me. All they do is make videos and bitch about how I'm a fake Christian, I hate women, I hate Jews, I hate this one and that one, and I'm such a bad person, and I'm racist, and I'm a Pied Piper for the young people. And not one of them will sit down and have a discussion. I've said repeatedly, if Trent Horn has a problem with me, I'll have a debate with him. I'll have a conversation with him, and it'll be civil. I'm a human being. If you've ever seen me do a debate, I'm nothing but polite and respectful. And in every case, they refuse to sit down. They say, I'll never sit down with him. He's an anti-Semite. And yet, they'll sit down and debate with people that support child pornography. Like Trent Horn will talk about me constantly and say, I'm a terrible person, I'm a piece of shit, I'm a fake Christian. Will he talk to me? No. He won't talk to me because I'm such a vile anti-Semite. But then he'll go to the Whatever podcast and debate Destiny about whether child porn, artificial intelligence, virtual child porn is virtuous or not. So that's cool. Destiny, who's a cuck, drug addict, total profligate degenerate, that guy's fine. The guy who says conservatives should be killed, that guy's fine. He'll sit down with him, but I'm beyond the pale. Exactly. And it's no different than Jordan Peterson, Andrew Klavan. They do the same thing. Andrew Klavan, first of all, such a sick human being, so negative, so hateful. He's always trash-talking me. Won't even say my name, but he'll say those people that say Christ is king and America first. I mean, check my bio on Twitter. He'll say those people that say that, they're so stupid and so evil and this and that. Same with Jordan Peterson, says I'm a rat. He's always trash-talking me. Won't even say my name, but he'll say those people that say Christ is king and America first.
Because Jordan Peterson, at the beginning, I liked him. But as time went on and he got more famous, he just fucking unraveled, bro. It was almost like he didn't know how to deal with it. He didn't know how to deal with the fame. He didn't know how to deal with it. I'm just like, bro, like, really? Let's see. Is this going to get violent? Let's see how violent it's going to get. This is manipulation right here. Someone manipulated this. And look how the bodies of the candles are right here at the 50% of this order block that I marked out. That's why I was like, whoa, let me stop talking real quick. Holy. But yeah, man. Like I stopped listening to Jordan Peterson because, like, bro, like he became a cuck too. I'm like, bro, like I get what you're saying most of the time, but the fact that you are unwilling to, like, break the boundaries or break any barriers through others people's conversation is like makes me think that you are faking it. So it makes me think you're just putting up a front because you're making money off of it. I'm just like, fuck, man. I thought you were one of the good guys. But he's not, man. He is and he's not. But he's in it for the money. That's what Jordan Peterson... I mean, everyone's in it for the money at one point, Can't blame him for it. I'm in it for the money. Because I got kids to feed, and he has kids to feed. But when it becomes more than just the money, you take up a different persona, and then you stop. You don't want to indulge in certain shit. And I'm just like, bro, like, indulge in everything, man. Come on. You gotta. If you're gonna be a conversationalist or a debatist or whatever, you gotta let everyone speak. You can't just fucking condemn people. That makes me think you aren't really who you say you are. And even the people who condemn you for speaking, for some reason you want to prove them something, and then when you do that to other people, it's like, bro, like, what? How do you not see the hypocrisy? Just debate Nick and talk about things thoroughly. That's all. But they'll probably lose. See, Destiny, he's a contrarian. He just says the opposite of what you say. And he says it in a way where he sounds smart. Destiny cannot debate. He is not a good debater. Destiny is annoying. He just says the opposite of what you say, and that's it. With no facts. Just says the opposite of what you say.
First, I mean, check my bio on Twitter. They'll say
And
those
he's a
people that
fucking
say
gay
that they're
degenerate.
so
That's fucking
stupid
crazy.
and so evil and this and that. Same with Jordan Peterson, says I'm a rat. They'll sit down with Destiny, they won't sit down with me. I don't know how that's even. How do you as a man constantly talk trash about somebody, you won't face them? I don't understand that. So anyway, once again, it's an open challenge to Trent Horn, this bitch. He's always going to make these YouTube videos. And you know what really gets me? It's this like female tone. He's always doing these videos like finger wagging. That's not nice. That's not very Christian at all. You can't say. He's making these jokes. Take a look for yourself. I can't believe that. You know, it's so feminine. It's so cowardly. But once again, I'm throwing down the challenge. If he wants to sit down and have a discussion, be happy to do it. It'd be respectful. We could have a debate, conversation. We could have a third party. He could pick, be the mediator. But I'm getting really tired of Trent Horn talking trash about me. And you know what it is on some level? Well, I mean, let's just say it. He is Jewish. At the end of the day, there is something going on within the Catholic community. And we talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago when they said that Christ is king. And this was coming from the ADL. This was co-signed by Jordan Peterson. It was being promoted by Chris Rufo and the guys at Babylon Bee. And it was literally a report that was created by a subsidiary of the ADL. The guy who runs the organization that drafted the report is on the co-signed by Jordan Peterson. It was being promoted by Chris Rufo and the guys at Babylon Bee. And it was literally a report that was created by a subsidiary of the ADL. The guy who runs the organization that drafted the report is on the board of the ADL in California. ADL is a Jewish group that was founded 100 years ago to defend a pedophile murderer. And so we saw that last week, and there was a big debate among Catholics about whether you could say Christ is king. Then today, Joe Lonsdale, who is with the Founders Fund, that's Peter Thiel's angel investing venture capital group. He's very good friends with Peter Thiel. He was at the, I believe, the Stanford Review paper that Peter Thiel founded. Joe Lonsdale just published a paper today on Substack saying how Christians need to call out anti-Semitism. Then there was this Philos conference last week. Christians and Jews talking about how we got to call this Trent Horn. He was at that conference as well. And now it's a crusade against Nick Fuentes and Christians need to call out anti-Semitism. Then there was this Philos conference last week. Christians and Jews talking about how we got to call out anti-Semitism. And then there's this Trent Horn. He was at that conference as well. And now it's a crusade against Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and others. And it's always the same. They'll talk about everything else. They'll talk about we're sexist, we're racist, we're this, that, and the other. At the center of it, though, is Christians to become aware of Tucker Carlson and others. And it's always the same. They'll talk about everything else. They'll talk about we're sexist, we're racist, we're this, that, and the other. At the center of it, though, is they don't want Christians to become aware of who and what we are, which is that we are set against the Jewish religion. It's in the gospel by nature of what we are and what they are. I mean, what is a Jewish person? It's an ethnicity, and they descend from the Pharisees. And insofar as you have Jewish people that self-identify as Jewish, that means they, in essence, their self-identification is that they reject Jesus Christ. That's what their religion is based in, and that is where their ethnic identity comes from also. If they accepted Jesus, they'd be Christians, and they'd say, I'm Jewish, but I'm also Christian, or I'm Catholic or something. But these guys like Trent Horn, they just can't let it go. He's Jewish, he's Catholic, and he's super liberal. He thinks he knows better than Thomas Aquinas. He thinks he knows better than St. Augustine. He thinks he knows better than countless popes that have issued encyclicals and other papal documents describing the relationship between Christians and Jews. He thinks he knows better. And he also, by the way, by virtue of that, being, I guess, some kind of modernist, thinks he knows better than all of them about women, about race, about politics, about democracy, about all of it. And so there's this process where I was born Catholic, I was baptized and confirmed Catholic. People like myself became aware and said, hey, wait a second. We used to live in a Catholic world. The world was run by Europe, and Europe was run by the Catholic Church. What happened? Now we see the world is run by Israel, and the world is run by this transnational Jewish syndicate. And we look at the moral degeneration of the world and the degeneration in many other ways of nationality, of kingdoms, of cultures, of races, of everything. And we say this aligns with Jewish values. This aligns with these revolutionary Jewish thinkers, the communists, the capitalists, the liberals, those races of everything. And we say this aligns with Jewish values. This aligns with these revolutionary Jewish thinkers, the communists, the capitalists, the modernists, the postmodernists, the liberals, those behind the Enlightenment, the Illuminists, the Masons. You know, all of that stuff comes from Jewish mysticism. And Catholics like me are saying, I'm starting to clearly understand where we went wrong. I'm starting to clearly understand. If they say the essence of politics is the distinction between us and them, we say we're starting to become aware of what the teams are. If we're engaged in this spiritual war or this great civilizational battle, we're starting to see where that dividing line is. And it seems like there's this cavalry coming in to say, oh, no, not so fast. Not so fast. Little paper, a little pamphlet inside the Bible during Easter that says, well, we can read the Passion, but let's not fall into anti-Semitism. It's the Philos group. It's Joe Lonsdale. It's Trent Horn. It's this endless cadre of so-called Christians that are conspicuously tied up with rabbinical Jews, the ADL, the State of Israel, getting all this money to tell us, hey, everything's cool. There's two ways to get into heaven now. You can profess Jesus, or you could be Jewish. Either one.
Jesus. Christ is king.
And fortunately for us, it's not a matter of opinion. You know, we know objectively that they are wrong. So at the heart of it is that discrepancy. It's that disagreement. So Trent Horn just can't stop talking about me. Hey, man, shut the fuck up. If you don't want to face me, then shut the fuck up. Stop talking about me. Stop gossiping about me. Stop slandering me. Stop taking my clips out of context. That's BS. I'm so sick of that. I don't know how people do that. It's so pathetic. You know, me, I call people out and then I'm willing to face them. And when I say that, it's not a tough guy thing. It's not like I'm gonna, you know, get in their face. I'm not some tough guy or anything. But if I have something to say, I say it. If I disagree, if I have a problem with somebody, I say it. And I'll say it on my show, and I'll say it to their face. I'll say it in a debate, whatever, on a panel.
You guys seeing price right now?
I don't know where these people...
You see price right now? I lost 70, but I got 70 plus 70. So we're making money. We're making money. All right. Right now we're in the first morning macro. All right. We have 4 more minutes till 10 a.m. 10 a.m. I would hope to see a very exhaust bullish candle, like an exhaust, like brah, and then break. And once I see that break, I'm fucking shorting. Because this is what you have to understand. What this is. What this is buyers. Buy. So that's the chronological. And if buyers are going to buy, I'm going to be with them. But to a certain point, I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is it, man. This is going to go up for the rest of the day. No, it's not. This is just tricking you into thinking that it is, in my opinion. I think it's egging us on. It's like, come on, guys, come on. Come on. Wait till 10 a.m. We're going to really gas this up. Watch, man.
I don't know where these people get off. I don't know where they have the balls to do this this constant crusade, playing my clips, talking trash, calling me a racist, a bad Christian. And then he say, hey, man, you know, and I've done it many times. He's taken a clip. You know, one time he cited a speech that I gave and said I was a Jew hater. And in the same video, I said we should love everybody. Jews, liberals, even the people that are persecuting us. Like in my case, I said we should love everybody. And I posted the clip. I said, hey, why didn't you include this part where I said we have to love everybody? Oh, no response. So I've had it up to here with this Jew. And anyway, so that's that. So I just want to throw that out there. I'm so sick of it. I can't stand it anymore. He shows a bunch of clips. It's like obviously jokes.
Like, I've had enough with
He plays this clip where I said, I'm going to crash my car into wife jack and break through the windshield and kill her. It's a cartoon. You realize I'm talking about killing a cartoon, you stupid fucking idiot? Anyway. So that's that. So I just want to throw that out there if you know, people are going to clip that or whatever. But that's that. We're going to move on. I do want to get into the news tonight. Guy really pisses me off. And it's especially the whole, like, the feminine, that really gets to me. That really bothers me. Like, I'm sorry. You're talking to another grown-ass man, okay? You're not talking to your fucking daughters. You're not talking to some stupid bitch. You're talking to another grown man, okay? Get your fucking finger out of my face. Stop wagging your finger in my face telling me, oh, well, we don't use language like that. Well, let's keep our hands and feet to ourselves. You're talking to another fucking grown man.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
I'm so sick of these, like, feminine men, especially these, like girl dad Christians, the whole, this whole feminist thing they have going on. I can't stand that. You know, it's like, I'm sorry, you're not my priest. You're not the Pope. You're not my fucking boss. You're not my parents. You have no right to, and should not feel even comfortable talking to or about another man like that. This whole, oh, well, let's look at the clip. Oh, that wasn't very nice. Now, was it? Oh, well, that's not very, you know, these people think that Christian means just like being like a super nice guy. You know, they think that being a Christian,
like,
is like if you're just a total sweetheart. It has
exactly like we're supposed to be total cucks. Like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like, bro, like no, bro, no. Oh shit, look at this. I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. You see that exhaustion? That's what I wanted to see. That like, yeah, like fucking get out of here. You know what I mean? It should take out this liquidity that was made at 8:30. The 8:30 liquidity. 8:34 liquidity. It should take it out. It should take... Oh, fuck. It's just a wick. Let's see. Let's see. Because, like, I want to see is this. The protraction phase. This is our protraction phase. Okay? I want to see a protraction phase. Okay? That's what I want to see. A protraction phase. And then, boom. After we're done at the 10 minutes. Come on. Just get up there, man. Because now... everyone's seen this wick. They're either putting sell orders or buy orders. Right? So, everyone's putting their stops up here. So, we're going to wait a little bit longer. We're going to wait a little bit longer. We're going to hold out, guys. We're going to hold out. We're going to hold it out. Even though I wanted to see that. Oh, fuck, dude. Now I'm kind of confused. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm kind of confused. I don't want to be confused anymore. Now I'm kind of confused. Fuck. Don't tell me this is it right here. Alright, we hit the midpoint. Alright. We're reading. I wish I had the 15-second one. Like, I've after being in a 1 minute for so long, like with my experience, I kind of want the 15-second time frame. Where it's like, 3. Every 15 seconds is 4. So 4 intervals. Every 15 seconds is a minute. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Because the thing is, it did do what I wanted to do. It just exhausted everything. And look at this. Look at this. Oh, fuck. Fuck, do I just go? No. Not yet. I want to see the is this the protraction? Nah, bro. This is not the protraction phase, bro. Fuck me, dude. I think this is it. We have to wait until this 1 minute candle ends. I think this is it. So we're not going to get the 8:30 candle. Okay. That kind of made me feel good. I'm not going to lie. The way it just did that. I kind of want this high right here, man. We're making the 4 hour right now. We are currently making the 4 hour. See how this candle's gonna look, man. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Okay. Alright, man. It's now or never, man. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. All right. So we got two things to worry about. Either it's gonna do this. It's either gonna do this. Where it hits the green line, the 50% of this exhaustion wick, or it's going to take out the liquidity up here and then break down. Because you gotta get, like, this wick is like a gap in the market. You gotta treat it like a gap, like a fair value gap. Or an order block. Bro, I haven't slept tonight. I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep at all. I woke up at 11 and I learned some Photoshop, made an appointment, and then, bro, like, oh, frick, bro. Oh, man. What time is it? It's 10? Oof. Good thing I already took a shower. Fuck. Took 2 showers, boy. Had a good run. Had a good run this morning. Like, I couldn't even sleep with myself thinking, like, you're not going to run? You're not going to run in the morning because you stayed up all night learning Photoshop, you pussy? And then if you come back home with running, you're not going to live stream, you pussy? Nigga, we got things to do, pussy. And I'm just like, you're right, man. You're fucking right. There's things to do. I got to stay up. There's no point in sleeping. There's no point. There's no point in sleeping, man. You already slept for 4 hours. You're good. Oh, no. That's so bad. But at least if I don't eat, right? Let's say I do my appointment. I surrender my license tag. And I cancel my insurance. And I got my concealed weapons permit already done. I come back home. Let's say it's like 2 o'clock. Let's say it's like 2 o'clock. Do my workout. I hope I can do my workout. I hope I can do my workout. I hope I can do my workout. Hopefully the coffee that I make when I get home can make me do my workout. Because I know that coffee is just going to give me energy for like an hour or two because I am sleep deprived. And, yeah. All right, man. Come on. Come on. Let's get up to that buy-side liquidity, baby. Like, right now, buyers and sellers are fucking losing their minds right now. They're fucking losing their minds. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. Oh, Bitcoin is going short. Yeah. Bitcoin's going down, son. Yeah. Bitcoin's going down, son. Sorry. Sorry, Bitcoin people. That's just going down for the rest of the day. For the rest of the day, it's going down. Because Bitcoin operates very simple. It's very simple to operate Bitcoin. And you can tell where it's going to go. Like, I've made a lot of money on Bitcoin. Just short-term gains. It's very easy to make money on Bitcoin. Yeah, but that shit's going short for the rest of the day. Just like this. This is going to go short for the rest of the day. But it needs to, like, convince people. Because that buy-side liquidity, people are putting buy stops. Okay? So that means when that buy stop is triggered, everyone is putting in a buy. Like, hey, we take this high. I want to be a part of it. Put a buy, like put me in the market for a buy. So that's the idea that I'm thinking right now. Okay? That's retail-minded trading. Okay? What I just said. See this buy-side liquidity right here? This buy-side? Everyone is putting an order saying, hey, I want to be a buyer if we take this high. Okay? That's what that means to me. Okay? And so that means, what does that also mean? Liquidity. That means money is sitting up there. Okay? Money is sitting up here. Okay, I gotta watch this. Hold on. Okay, it looks like it might want to just keep going up. Oh shit, we're $200 in profit, baby. Ooh-wee. All right, we're gonna sell to up here. We're gonna get out. We're gonna get out as soon as it takes its high. And then we're gonna fucking reverse it. Okay? We're gonna get that money. Okay, we're gonna get that money. Okay? We're gonna be in profit. Oh shit, here we go. You see, this is why I'm looking at the 50% of this gap. And I'm just like, hold on. But hold on, fuck. No, don't tell me that, man. Oh, you're a bitch. You're a fucking pussy, bro. You're not gonna go up there? And if I reverse, I'm gonna be so upset. All right. You look good. Yeah, you're gonna go. All right, cool. Look at that. You're sitting right on top of that black line, bro. Oh my God. Yo, you think price is random? Hell no, bro. Hell no. It's all about 4D chess around here, man. How are people putting in their buys and sells? How is the market trying to generate money out of people? How many people are like trying to like, you know, grab money out of people? You know what I mean? So it's like, that's how it is. Like you just got to think like that. You got to think like, where are my buyers and sellers? Okay. Are sellers in the market? Yes. Are buyers in the market? Yes. Where would they put their stop loss and where would they put their buy stops or sell stops? Here, here, and here. Where do you think the most money is going to be allocated to? Here. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens after this buy side liquidity. We're going to see, man. We're going to fucking see. Because you know what I want to see, bro? I want to see something like, bomb, take everything out, and then it starts to break slowly. And then bomb. Fuck everybody up. Turtle soup everybody. Fuck everybody up, bro. Fuck them all up. Fuck them all up. Anyone who is selling up here, you're fucked. Anyone who is buying up here, you're fucked. Everyone's fucked. No one wins. No one is winning, bro. It's a terrible idea, I know, but no one's winning. No one's going to win. Okay? I'm not going to win, but I am going to win. I always win. Tell that to my baby moms. She will never believe you. I always win. Just know that. I always fucking win. I'm a fucking winner. You understand me? I put too much time into this shit. And right now, I'm teaching people how to do this and cut half of their time of how long it took me. You know why? Because I give back for free. All right? I give back. I'm trying to save people's lives before 2030. All right? I'm just trying to do that. Because once 2030 hits, everybody's fucked. No one's getting money no more. Just know that. Once the banks take over Bitcoin, no one is getting money anymore. Not like how we used to, like how we're doing it now. No one's going to get any money like how we're going now. It's either going to be upper class or lower class. No middle class. No, we're done with that, son. You know why? because the new industrial age is coming. If you guys didn't know that, we're about to descend into a new industrial age. And what happened after the industrial age? The Great Depression. Because the industrial age did what? Take jobs. There you go. Economy 101 right there. So when AI and robots start taking jobs, the Great Depression happens right after. Because now you have hundreds, bro. Before we had millions, tens of millions. Now it's going to be hundreds of millions of people are not going to have no jobs. Hundreds, millions of people. All over the world. Canada, fucked. Mexico, fucked. Europe, oh, cooked. All of them niggas cooked. I'm telling you, bro. And only the real jobs are going to be farmers and commercial people who own commercial buildings or manufacturers who provide jobs. And most of those jobs are going to be taken by robots and mechanical AI. So you don't even get to have those jobs either. Not even the manual labor ones too. It's going to be a robot. I don't have to pay a robot. The only thing I have to do for a robot is what? Mechanical? What? I have to fix my robot, what, twice a month? That means I'm paying you twice a month? That's it. All right, bet. Exactly. I don't even have to calculate the hours you put in. Think about it. I'm telling you, bro. I'm trying to save as many families as I can. In the black community, in the Spanish community, in the white community, Asian community, anyone who wants help, who is a fucking degenerate and wants to get their life cleaned up so they can save their family line and their lineage, I'm willing to help. I'm willing to help. I'm that much of a good guy. Yeah, I know it sounds weird. I'm that much of a good guy. I'm willing to help you, but you have to help yourself. I'm not here to hold your hand because no one held my hand when I was learning all this shit. No one was like, here, this is what you do, Brian. This is what you do. I'm just trying to cut it in half, bro. That's all. I'm just trying to cut it in half. So you can fucking eat and your family can eat and not fucking go in a bread line or fucking ask for unemployment. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to save you from that. And you guys don't even fucking know. You guys don't even fucking know what I'm doing. You don't know. You don't know, bro. So it's like, when I tell you to do something, you fucking do it. And if you don't do it, it's in God's hands now. I put you in God's hands. I'm not here to convince you. Hell no. I'm not here to convince nobody. I'm here to show you the water, where the water well is. You get up in the morning, you walk to the water well, and you pour your own bucket of water and then bring it back home for your family. Think about it like that. Okay? I'm not going to go get my bucket, get your bucket, fill my bucket, go to your house, drop off your bucket, and then go to my house and drop off my bucket. No, fuck you. Fuck you. You lazy piece of shit. You're a lazy piece of shit. That's just what it is. You're a lazy piece of shit. All right? So when I tell you to fucking study, you fucking study. And when I tell you to, hey, look at this, picture this in your mind, remember this, you fucking do it. And you try to understand why I'm telling you to look at it. Because it's all in the videos. I don't have to tell you anything extra. There's no hidden meaning in anything. The videos tell you everything. Watch all ICT videos, all of them. I showed you how. I gave you bro, listen, man. There's a lot of things in this world that you may not be aware of. But I promise you, if you're focused on drugs, alcohol, and women, you're fucked up. You're a fucked up individual. Just saying. You're a fucked up individual. You're a degenerate, and that's it. Your whole lineage dies in 2030. Like, your last name dies. Your genetics dies with you. Because you're a fucking degenerate. Because you rather fucking jerk off or go chase women or fucking drink alcohol or fucking do drugs or overeat and eat some shit outside of fucking the house, and then you just want to do all that bullshit. Yeah. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, that's you. You want to go fucking do bullshit work. Like, what? That's you. Yeah. 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 Yeah, bro. It sucks, doesn't it? Right? It sucks. It sucks when someone tells you what you do accurately. You know why I know? Because I used to do it. And then when I realized everyone was doing the same thing I was doing, I had to fucking go. I had to leave a lot of people behind because those people were degenerates, bro. They were degenerates. They couldn't let go of their old habits. They couldn't let go. They couldn't fix their trauma, whatever trauma. Man, I don't even call it trauma. I call it experience. And it's what you do with that experience. Okay? You have negative experiences and you have positive experiences. If you focus only on the negative experiences of your life, then and you don't learn from it, you're not going to do anything with your life. That's all I know. Because I learned from my negative experiences and I just don't do it anymore. I just don't do it anymore. Usually, my mom used to tell me all the time, when something bad happens to you, it only happens to you one time because it never happens again. I'm like, yeah, I know. Because that's how I learn. Okay? Because I promise you it will never happen again. It won't happen again, bro. But you guys always want to do the same cycle again. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Whatever makes other people feel happy. Oh, he's a good guy because he stays where he needs to stay. Yeah. He stays where he needs to stay. He's a good youth. That's a good youth. He doesn't want to move anywhere. He's a good youth. He doesn't have no aspirations, no ambitions. He's a good youth. That's a good youth. Yeah, that's who you are. But when I show you the water, you don't even want to grab a bucket and grab it for yourself. Cool. I'm not speaking to anyone specifically. It's just anyone in general who thinks like this. It's not specific. But if the shoe fits, the shoe fits. If it doesn't fit, cool. I'm glad you're on board. And I promise you, it's in God's hands. And you better pray to God you fucking retain whatever knowledge you know. And then as you're retaining the knowledge, you better start letting go of a lot of habits. Because I promise you, I've learned this in my journey. Little hint. A little hint right here. God won't let you retain any knowledge unless you start giving up habits. Unless you start sacrificing habits. Let me repeat this again. I know this is weird. When you hear something and you're trying to learn something and then you feel like a fog and then you can't really retain it. You're like, I don't understand it. I watched this video so many times. I just don't understand it. It's because God wants you to sacrifice a habit, a bad habit, a negative habit, or a bad way of thinking. He wants you to sacrifice that in order to retain knowledge. That's what I've noticed. And that's a secret. No one tells you that. Everyone tells you, oh, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. No. You sacrifice time, way of thinking, and habits. That is the way to retain knowledge. Because I promise you, God is real. I don't believe in God. I know he's God. I know he's real. I know. And it's a fact. It's not no fucking fairy tale. All right? It's a fucking fact. And he will fucking block your mind on purpose. I read it in the Bible. He does that shit. He puts you in a state of confusion until you fucking realize why you're so confused. And he'll do it for years. Just watching you fucking run around. Run around. Oh, you keep doing drugs? Okay, cool. Keep going on the same cycle, brother. Until you realize that this is destroying you. Okay, keep going. Oh, you keep doing alcohol? Cool. All right, keep going. Oh, you keep chasing women and keep chasing your cardinal desires? Okay, keep going, man. Yeah. Yeah, well, you'll learn your lesson. Okay, boom. Oh, you still haven't learned? Keep going. Yeah. Boom. Oh, you still haven't learned your lesson? All right, keep going. Yeah. Until you fucking change. Fundamentally, you have to change. When you look in yourself in the mirror, you have to be nice to yourself. You say, what can I do today to be better than yesterday? Okay? I'm not here to be your guru, all right? I'm just here to cut the time in half. That's all I'm here to do, okay? Because I realized that once I knew what was going on in the market, I was like, am I going to be selfish or am I going to share? and I had a dream, and I was like, okay, I have to share. Because I've been selfish most of my life, I need to help people. Not just my family, I need to help people around me. Anyone who's in the vicinity of me is getting helped, is going to get a service from me for free. Okay? Because I need to make sure families are fed. Because I need to go to my deathbed and said, I've tried to help people save their families. I've tried. And I did it. Okay? That's how I want it to go. That's how it has to go. And I had a dream, and I got it, and I said it. I was like, all right, I know what to do. All right, let's go start saving some people. Because I can't just have this information by myself and not share it. And it's the same concept that my mentor, it was the same concept he had in his head. He's like, I can't have this information by myself. I can't. Knowing that I'm making all this money and then I can't even help people with it. That's exactly what he started thinking about. And that's why everything is free. That's why I'm doing everything free. I'm not offering you a fucking course. I don't want. Keep your fucking money. It better be a donation. That's all I want is a donation. I don't even want your money. I don't want a subscription from you. Be like, yo, I'm trying to become a politician. I'm not even gonna lie. Just donate to my campaign, okay? I have to figure out what I want to push and what I want to say, but that's down like 5 years from now. But what I am gonna say is this: answer the call. And I think you know what I'm talking about when I say answer the call. Okay? Let me enlarge myself on this. I think you know what I'm saying when I say answer the call. I think you know. I will be honest with you. I think you know what I mean about answering the call. We all have that instinct in our head and in our gut that we love to ignore because we're always doing certain things that blocks that instinct. Stop doing certain things and then start listening to your inner self. Because I think that will help you the most. And try to understand yourself. And give that little kid inside your head a hug. Okay? Make sure he's taken care of too. Stop ignoring him. Stop suppressing him. And all those fucking carnal desires or all those overindulgences you like to do, whatever it is, masturbation, sex, alcohol, drugs, tone it down and get rid of it. Okay? Tone it down and get rid of it. And you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be able to retain the knowledge that I gave you. All right, let's see. What time is it? It's almost 10:30. So yeah, that was my monologue. That was my little hit piece about learning what it is. And I guess hopefully you learned something from that. Because like I got triggered. Bro. I don't even know how I got triggered. I don't even remember. I just went off. It's just, these are the thoughts that I have in my head all the time. It's the story I tell myself. I don't even tell the story of my old self anymore, like how I used to. Because every single person on this earth tells themselves a story. And that story is usually of the things that happened to them. And that's what always holds people back, honestly. It holds people back. And you can't think like that. Oh shit, we just hit it? All right, bet. All right, let's see. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold on. Let this 1 minute fill. Let this 1 minute fill. Let this 1 minute down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're done. All right. We're positive $587. Can I do one more? No. All right, I'm going short. Stop loss, tight little stop loss right here. Nah, this shit wants to go up. I know I just stopped abruptly. I know. Where we're at 87? I think I could do 35. No, let's do 40. Yeah, we'll do 40. We'll sacrifice $40. I want to see this shit, what it looks like on the 15 seconds. Oh, that was a lot, man. I expelled a lot of energy like there. I was holding that shit in, man. So, hold on. What I was gonna look for? I was gonna look for something. Fuck. I want a dramatic down. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I want that shit so dramatic that it just fucking shits on everybody. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. We're making money today, and yesterday, and tomorrow, and forever. Okay? I've been giving you some fucking sauce. No one appreciates how much sauce I give, and it's fine. This video, every single video you have on my YouTube and my Rumble will stay up forever. I'm never gonna delete any of those things, because that's the real me. I don't even care if it makes you look bad. You just have to see it full form. If you want to take clips out of it, cool. Bro, no way I was right. There's no way. No way. There's no way. Bro, all I gotta say is this breaks, bro. Like, if this breaks below here, we're fucking set for the rest of the day. What time is it? 11:30, 10:33, 33. Holy. That's crazy. I just saw 10:33, 33 seconds. Holy. Angel numbers, man. Those shits are real. That's another hint. Repetitive numbers are your ancestors and angels talking to you. And the universe. God. Because they don't happen randomly. Like, I don't look for them. They just happen to me. Like, okay, cool. Like, all right. See, 22. I just saw 22. What the fuck? Like, I just look anywhere and I just see it. I'm like, all right, cool. I got the message, man. I got it. I got the message. Bro, let it rip. Bro, if you let it rip right now, son. Oh. Oh. All right, let's see how it reacts here. I mean, like, this is a doji candle that I don't like, because that's a retail-minded thing. So, if we... I think we're going to do this. No. Stay. We're going to do this. We're going to put a stop loss right here, bro. We're just not going to... We're going to make 10 bucks, okay? If it's real, it's real. If it's not, it's not. Okay? If this down is real, then it's real. Okay. Let's look at the weekly. Let's see how the weekly looks. Oh, man. We're in the first quadrant. We're still in the first quadrant, man. Look at this. We just passed the first quarter. This might still go up. Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, we have a lot of what's it called? We have buy side inefficiencies downstairs, or it just keeps going up. All right, let's see if this works. If we pass this, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. Because that's the thing, bro. This is a doji candle, so I know it's gonna get through this. I think. I'm not too sure. This doji candle, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Yeah, it's gonna get past it. Yep. What I got here is an inverted fair value. Yep, there it is. Boom. It retested the high. Boom, taken. All right, cool. That's fine. We still made $10. I was like, there's no way, bro. There's no way I'm correct. I'm like, yeah, bro, there's no way. But I'm still going to go short. I'm still going to go short. Because this is not the daily, bro. I don't think this is a daily candle right now. Look how small the daily candle is. Look how small that shit is. Nah, bro. This is not going up for the rest of the day. I'm gonna have to see something dramatic real quick. Yeah, this is gonna have to go up a little bit more. If this can go up a little bit more, that'll be fine. I'll be okay with that. Let's see the executions. Boom. Look at that. Deet. Look at that. Boom, boom, buy. Boom. Taken out. Yo, today was a good day, bro. Fuck that. See that? 90 points. About 90 points. Like 87 points for the day. Plus these points that I just got. It's not bad, man. Not bad for a morning. Let's see what happens when it takes out this high. I might have to see something like this. This is what I have to see. Where are my connected ones? Path, right here. I'm gonna have to see this. This is the pattern. Like, that's what I want to see. Where we go up, but a short-term low has to be taken. Like, that's the pattern. It didn't show here. Okay, I have 4 descending candles here. We'll see. All right. Oh, we picked a deal out for you. Okay. Friday's high? Let's see. Let's see if it wants to go to Friday's high. Let's see how far it is. coordinates. The high is 93.25. Now we're gonna sink it. Oh, it's not that far. Let's see. I know you probably think, oh, you should have kept going. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm good on that, bro. Good on that. I'd rather wait. Oh, man, this looks like it's going to go up for the rest of the day, maybe. I mean, like, just off of this range right here. And what was it, a 1 hour entry? Yep, 1 hour entry. Where it just did boop, 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 boom, enter, boom, release, boom. What time is it? Let's see. This might just go up for the rest of the day. But the thing is, man, we made money. We made money. The old me would have been like, just hold on. Just hold on. 33. All right. All right. All right. I think we're done, man. Let's listen.
It has nothing to do with like moral courage. It has nothing actually to do with righteousness. It just has to do with like, are you going to act like you're in kindergarten? Are you going to act like a preschooler? So anyway, but that's that. I do want to move on, though. I want to get into our news here. We'll stop talking about Trent Horn gossiping about me, always making videos about me, but won't sit down. Sit down with Destiny, but not me. Anyway, but I want to get into the news. I guess we'll start with the first story here, which is about tariffs. And so the big story today, we are looking ahead to April 2nd. It's sort of funny. They were going to do this on April 1st, but they don't want people to think it's an April Fool's Day joke. So they pushed it to April 2nd. The Trump administration is saying that April 2nd, which is in a little more than a week, is going to be Liberation Day. April 2nd is the day when Trump's reciprocal tariffs are supposed to go into effect. Trump says that any nation that has tariffs on our goods, we will put a reciprocal tariff on their goods. So whatever the percentage that they apply to our exports and however much of our trade they put tariffs on, we will do exactly the same to them. And this is supposed to be groundbreaking. This is huge. This is the most ambitious protectionist agenda in 100 years since the Smoot-Hawley tariff, maybe since William McKinley. This is a really big deal. Trump says reciprocal tariffs on every country in the whole world, which means we're putting tariffs on dozens of countries. This will affect trillions of dollars in trade. It's a huge deal. And so Trump says that April 2nd is Liberation Day. He says this is when we're finally liberated from free trade. Huge deal. Here's the problem. In the first place, this is already a significant retreat from the original promise, from the initial campaign promise. Trump said during the 2024 election that it would be at least a 15% tariff across the board on everything that comes into the United States. Across the board, flat rate, 15%, anything that comes over the borders, it gets hit with a tax. That would have been revolutionary. That would have been groundbreaking. Trump changed it. About a month into the presidency, when asked about it, he said, well, instead of doing across the board 15%, he said, instead, we're going to do reciprocal. So where we are already is significantly less, significantly weaker than what we were promised initially. They said reciprocal, but that's still pretty good. Well, today, we now hear from the White House, we're not even getting that. The big news is that we're not getting reciprocal tariffs on April 2nd. Instead, we're getting targeted, limited reciprocal tariffs. What does that even mean? We don't know. This is supposed to happen in less than 2 weeks. And nobody knows what exactly this entails. We did know during the election, 15%. We did know last week it was reciprocal. So every country that had tariffs against us was going to get tariffs. You would have to do a little more research, but you could then figure out what that would look like. Last week, Howard Lutnick and Scott Bessent said that various nations were coming to negotiate with Washington, and in anticipation of the reciprocal tariffs, they were lowering their trade barriers. In other words, expecting that the United States would impose tariffs on them, they were going to reduce their tariffs so that they would get lower tariffs on the goods they export to the United States. Well, now today they say, well, it's just going to be something else. They don't say anything more than that. And this is a story. This is from CNBC. It says, quote, stocks surged to their highest levels in more than a week on Monday following weekend reports from Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal that the president is not actually going to impose blanket duties on industrial sectors like automobiles, pharmaceuticals, and semiconductors. Shares of Tesla, which have been battered by sluggish sales and backlash against Elon Musk, soared almost 10% on Monday. Previously, the company submitted a letter to Trump's trade representative stating it was vulnerable to retaliatory tariffs imposed by other countries in response to Trump's measures. A source familiar with Trump's thinking told NBC early on Monday the president has yet to make a final decision about the scale of the blanket tariffs, expected to be announced on April 2nd. Trump delivered further volatility when he announced on Truth Social that starting that date, any country that purchases oil or gas from Venezuela would be forced to pay a 25% tariff on any trade they do with the United States. Later on Monday, Trump hinted at even more leeway in the April 2nd duties, while stating other levies on industrial items could still be forthcoming. He said, I may give a lot of countries breaks, but it's reciprocal. But we might be nicer than that. We've been very nice to a lot of countries for a long time. So what does that mean? We're going to give countries breaks, but it's reciprocal. But we could be nice, but we've been nice for too long. Okay, so which is it? So this is the same sentence. I may give a lot of countries breaks, but it's going to be reciprocal. But we might be really nice, but we've been nice for too long. Okay, so what's it going to be? Is it across the board? Is it reciprocal, or is it going to be targeted? But which is it? And when? It's April. I mean, it's practically April. He's been in office for 3 months now, almost. And we don't even know what the plan is. The plan, not only has it not been implemented, and then it will be a tough transition. When you implement significant tariffs like this, there will be economic pain. It will boost inflation in the short term. It will put upward pressure on prices in the short term. They say it may cause a recession. And that's okay. Because the point of this is what economy means is to determine how you allocate your resources. When you change the framework of the economy, these resources will be allocated. The market will correct The market will calibrate how it allocates those resources within the parameters of the tariffs, and there's a transitional, even there yet, okay? We're not at of the economy. These resources will be allocated. The market will correct. The market will calibrate how it allocates those resources within the parameters of the tariffs, and there's a transitional period, okay? We're not at implementation. We're not at the pain period or on the other side of it. We don't even know what the plan is. It's supposed to be less than 2 weeks away. We don't even know what it is. But he goes on, he says, we'll be announcing some additional tariffs over the next few days having to do with automobiles, cars, and also to do a little with lumber down the road, lumber and chips. The president has demonstrated a willingness to relent on his tariff threats, even as he publicly maintains pressure. Last week, he signaled that when it came to tariffs on China, there was room for talk. And while he was intent on posing new tit-for-tat duties on longstanding U.S. allies, daylight remained. He said, I don't change. But flexibility is an important word. Sometimes it's flexibility. So there will be flexibility, but basically it's reciprocal. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent also says on longstanding U.S. allies, daylight remained. He said, I don't change. But flexibility is an important word. Sometimes it's flexibility. So there will be flexibility, but basically it's reciprocal. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent also suggested last week that the range of countries targeted by the April 2nd tariffs would be more limited than what had previously been reported, telling Fox News host Maria Bartiromo that a dirty 15, referring to the 15% of nations with persistent trade imbalances with the United States, would be affected. In descending order, the nations and entities with the largest trade deficits are China, the EU, Mexico, Vietnam, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, Canada, and India. Trump's ongoing openness to negotiate is why the threatened 25% duties on Mexico and Canada were ultimately suspended and then scaled back to only include goods not covered by the USMCA. Trump also proved receptive to entreaties from major auto firms about how dramatic the impact of the tariffs with America's north and southern neighbors would be to their businesses. Heading into Monday, only steel and aluminum tariffs and higher duties against Chinese goods have gone into effect. So all this talk about tariffs over the past 2 months, and all you have is steel, aluminum, and China. That's it. There are no tariffs on Mexico, EU, Canada, nothing major. It's just the tariffs on Mexico and steel and aluminum. And here's the thing about tariffs, and this is the problem. And we talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the year, and I've said this really for the past 10 years, ever since Trump got elected the first time. The problem with how Trump views tariffs, or I should say, maybe, people in Trump's cabinet, the problem with how they view tariffs is that they are effectively free traders, which means ideologically they believe in free trade. And maybe more importantly, to the extent that they want to change our trade policy, they want the United States to export to other countries. They want to reduce trade deficits and get us to export to other countries. Some of them don't even believe in that. Many of them only view tariffs as a tool of foreign policy. Access to the markets inside the United States is extremely powerful, and it makes other countries rich. We gave them access to the very rich American market. And by selectively taking that away, that is a form of soft power. So, for example, earlier in the year, Trump imposed tariffs on Mexico and Canada. He said because he wanted them to do a better job policing their borders with immigration and with drug trafficking. And so Trump said, you cannot have access to our markets. This would destroy both of their economies. This would destroy the businesses that employ so many people there and are a big source of their wealth. He said, we will basically destroy and cripple your economy. It's over for you if you don't make key concessions. But understand, that is using tariffs as a tool for foreign policy, a tool of statecraft. The State Department is negotiating with the economy. It's over for you if you don't make key concessions. But understand, that is using tariffs as a tool for foreign policy. That's using them as a tool of statecraft. The State Department is negotiating with the foreign ministries of Canada and Mexico, and they're using tariffs to coerce those governments to do something that's unrelated to trade. Immigration and fentanyl have really nothing to do with trade at all. They have nothing to do with our economy. And unfortunately, all too often, that is the only way, that's the only reason that the Trump administration is willing to use tariffs for. We're going to put tariffs on Canada to get them to do this. Put tariffs on Mexico to get them to do this. Put sanctions on Iran or the secondary sanctions with Venezuela, 25% tariff on anyone that does business with Venezuela for a foreign policy objective. But the problem is that we need tariffs for the economy. In other words, you can threaten tariffs and maybe they go on and maybe they don't, or maybe they go on until the country does what we want them to do and then they're taken away. We need tariffs to be a part of our economy. They need to be in the mix basically permanently for the purpose of building the American economy, not to get Mexico to do X, Y, and Z, not to get Venezuela or its allies to do something. We need tariffs to build our own economy. And in order to do that, a specific way. Right now, there is a report, I think it's by the Venezuela or its allies to do something. We need tariffs to build our own economy. And in order to do that, tariffs need to be implemented in a very specific way. Right now, there is a report, I think it's by the Federal Reserve Bank in St. Louis. And it says that consumer spending in the first quarter of this year indicates that we're headed for a recession, that the GDP will contract by 3%. And when you look at the stock market has been rough. There has been a ton of volatility in the stock market and also with cryptocurrency. And the reason for the volatility in the markets is because of unpredictability. When Trump says, maybe I'll do tariffs, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do tariffs, actually, you have another month. Maybe I'll do tariffs everywhere. Actually, maybe not everywhere, but maybe I will, but maybe not. When they are unpredictable, companies and investors are unwilling to invest long term. If the United States is going to apply a 25% tariff to everything coming across its borders from Canada, obviously companies are not going to invest if they think that that will affect them. It's going to change their decision-making, whether that does or does not happen. So they hang on to their money and they wait to see what happens. And that's one example, but that happens every time there's a big tariff threat. And that's actually bad for the economy to have that uncertainty. The way that you impose tariffs, if you want them to be a part of your economic policy for the long term, if you actually want companies or countries or anybody to invest in the United States, they need to be predictable. You need to tell them what the rates are going to be, what goods they're going to affect, when they're going to come into effect, give a reasonable amount of time, and then you have to follow through. And if they're implemented in such a way where there's transparency, where they are telegraphed in advance, where there is time to coordinate economic activity, and when they are predictable, you don't have as much volatility in the markets. Then people can plan and people can they can prepare. What is happening right now, and people have their own theories about why Trump is doing this. Some people say it's intentional for reasons we could get into. But you have all this volatility. You have consumption and investment slowing down. It may be slowing down the economy. And when you have an environment, an ecosystem, when the tariffs are being threatened but not being applied, when they're contingent on whether another country does something the State Department wants them to do or not, that's actually not part of economic policy. And we want tariffs because they build the economy. I understand that tariffs are useful for foreign policy, and that is one purpose for them. But we want tariffs to go into effect actually to nurture industry in the United States. To put it simply, we want tariffs to protect the steel industry. And it's a good thing Trump has tariffs on that. We want tariffs in the United States to protect our tech industry. We want tariffs to protect our auto industry. Right now, China is becoming an automobile superpower. They're becoming a car manufacturing superpower. These BYD electric cars, they're cheap, they're good, they're flooding the market everywhere, and the United States is trying to keep them out of the European market. We're trying to keep them out of everywhere else. You need tariffs against cars like that basically forever so that we could still make electric cars, so that we can make Teslas. We get another crack at being an automobile manufacturer. And we do need that across the board. We want to create an economy where Americans make things and then sell them to other. Everybody's fixated on we want to sell things to other people. And we do need that across the board. We want to create an economy where Americans make things and then sell them to other Americans. Everybody's fixated on we want to sell things to other people. Do we want people to sell things to us? We want to make things and we want to sell to Americans. We want to buy the things that we make. That is a nationalist economic program. And that's why we want tariffs. We want to erect trade barriers so that we benefit from our markets. We have capital. We have the good jobs. We have high wages. We have the supply chains and the industries that are advantageous to have. We want all of it. And the problem is in the first term and in the second term, you never get a comprehensive policy, what economists call an industrial policy, which involves a mix of different policy tools that is sustained, that is comprehensive over a period of time. You don't get that in the first Trump administration, and it seems like we're not getting that in the second Trump administration. To put it simply, if we want to rebuild our economy, we need a mix of tariffs. We need better intellectual property laws. We need subsidies, actually. We need investments. We need tax credits. We need a mix of different policies from Congress so that we can build back up, for example, our ability to make chips, our ability to make ships also. I mean, those are two things that Asia makes that we don't, that are super important. China has a 400 times greater shipbuilding capacity than we do. We used to have hundreds of ports. Now we have, or rather shipyards. Now we have 4. They can make hundreds of times more ships, like commercial ships, battleships, 100 times greater shipbuilding capacity than we do. We used to have hundreds of ports. Now we have, or rather shipyards. Now we have 4. They can make hundreds of times more ships than we can. I'm talking like commercial ships, battleships. Also, Taiwan makes all the world's computer chips, semiconductors. Those are things that we want to make. Those are things that Americans actually can make. We want the capital to make them. We want the factories. We want the technical expertise. We want the supply chains. We want the high-paying jobs. We want to have them, for example, in times of war for national security reasons too. We want them because those industries will lead to the next industry of the future. If the next industry is, who can predict what will happen after that? We want chips because it will fold in times of war for national security reasons too. We want them because those industries will lead to the next industry of the future. If the next industry is quantum computing, AI, who can predict what will happen after that? We want chips because it will fold in, roll into the next thing. And the only way to achieve that, and that is what a good economy is, we're making these things and buying these things, is a comprehensive industrial policy that comes from the government, that comes from the top. You need research and development. You need subsidies. And yes, you need tariffs. and they need to be high, and they need to be targeted, and they need to be for the explicit purpose of building the economy, not to get people to overthrow the government in Venezuela, not to get Canada to stop sending fentanyl. I don't even think that's true. I mean, fentanyl doesn't even come from Canada. It comes from Mexico, comes from China. So this has been my problem with the tariff policy. All the talk is great for the most part, celebrating the legacy of McKinley. And, you know, let's say that they're putting up the tariffs and they say it's for foreign policy. I'm okay with them saying that, but they need to implement it like an economic policy. I'm okay with that being the first step, but it needs to go further than this. And what happened the first time, what's happening now is it seems like it's too ad hoc. Maybe we'll do tariffs, maybe not. Maybe we'll do tariffs, but not if Canada does this. Maybe we'll put across the board, never mind. They need to throw it down. You only have 4 years. We need something in Congress, and we need to get serious. And this is the last thing I'll say about it, then we'll move on. And I explained this on a Twitter space not too long ago, and in my debate with Dean Withers, they all talk about, but tariffs make things more expensive. Tariffs are going to cause spending to go, or rather, prices to go up. Here's the thing about tariffs. Even to the extent that you talk about tariffs as a tool for foreign policy, productive capacity is the foundation of everything. And I'm using that word very specifically. People talk about the economy. What does the economy mean? To a lot of these people, the economy means we sell our debt. We export our debt. We export our dollars. Everybody denominates their trade in dollars. They need our currency. They need the paper. That's not the economy. The GDP, the earnings reports, the stock market, that's not the economy. The economy is the actual stuff. Capital used to mean machines. When Karl Marx and Ricardo and Adam Smith talked about capital, they meant machines. They meant factories. They meant actual stuff. That's what the economy really is. When you look at China and they make cars, when you look at Japan and they make cars, when you look at China and they make everything, that's economy. That's capital. It's productive capacity. So people talk a lot about we need to grow the economy. We need the economy to be bigger. We need to be economically competitive. Unfortunately, that term is too loose. The foundation of everything is not the economy, as evidenced by our war in Ukraine with Russia, because you can't send money to go and fight Russians. You need artillery shells. You can't use money to heat your homes in the winter or power your factories. You need natural gas that comes from pipelines, that comes from the ground. And that's why Russia is winning the war over Europe, because for all of the economy that Europe and the United States has, Russia can make more shells. Russia has natural gas. Russia has fertilizer. Russia has all these things, and they can trade with China, and they can get the things they don't have or the things that they don't make. That's economy. The productive capacity of a nation is the foundation of everything. If you don't have productive capacity, you don't have power. You don't have military strength. You can't control the seas. You can't. And then, by the way, if you don't have the productive capacity to make ships, to make aircraft carriers, to make face masks during the pandemic, to make medical equipment, to make chips, to make computers, if you don't have the productive capacity to make the things that you need to project power in the world, if you don't have power projection in the world, guess who controls trade? The country that does have power, the country that does have productive capacity. And so, there's sort of this irony where people say, like, we're going to use tariffs for foreign policy. We don't really care. We're going to have free trade, and we're not really going to pursue a solid industrial policy. We're going to use tariffs to get the people to overthrow Venezuela. It's like, well, we're playing games doing that. China is building warships. So we're playing games with that. They're building the industries of the future. It's all in-house. The supply chains are controlled by them. Who will have the ability to project power in 50 years? And then who will control the global economy? Then who will control anything? So you have to get these things right now. This is fundamental. This is extremely important. This should be a priority. Instead of using tariffs to secure a short-term concession, we should have tariffs in place comprehensively and permanently so that we can, in the long term, rebuild our productive capability, our productive capacity as a country. That is something that resonated with me in the first Trump administration, or in the first Trump campaign, I should say, but it never got off the ground. It has been 11 years now, or I should say 9 years, since Trump won the election the first time. We're hardly better off. We have some tariffs on aluminum, on steel. We have the tariffs on China were put in place in the first Trump admin, stayed there through Biden, are there now. But 10 years is a long time for there to not be any kind of whole of government approach to deal with this problem. So this is my concern. And I'm a little more optimistic about this than I am about immigration or foreign policy, but we need to see some follow through. So I don't like this news. It would have been good to see reciprocal tariffs. It would have been good to see some across the board tariffs. It's got to happen at some point and needs to be combined with other things. So they got to focus up. But that's that. That's the tariffs. I want to move on. I want to get into our featured story, which is even better. I mean, this is great. So our featured story is about this signal leak. How does this even happen? Today, it was reported in The Atlantic that, if you remember a couple weeks ago, I guess it was last week, the Trump administration restarted the U.S. war in Yemen. So last year during the Biden administration, the United States and the United Kingdom were at war with the Houthi rebels in northern Yemen. They're attacking shipping in the Red Sea, and we're bombing them. We're bombing now their ports, their city. And Trump has restarted the war as of last week, hit him with major airstrikes. They've been going on almost every day since last week. It's far more significant than anything that happened last year. And what we've learned today is that before the strikes began, these are very significant, very consequential strikes. This is a serious military action. This is the most serious military action since Trump took office. We have now learned that before the strikes began, a group chat was created on Signal, the encrypted messaging app, which included the Vice President, National Security Advisor, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State. And apparently they accidentally added to the group chat the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, the newspaper. This was an accident. The purpose of the group chat was to plan the military strike. So they were discussing the targets. They were discussing which weapons they would use. They were discussing the timing of the strike, which cities they were going to hit. This is apparently the highest level talk between the critical elements in our military-industrial complex, or I should say, State Department, Defense Department, planning out this strike, and they accidentally had a journalist eavesdropping and reading the entire conversation. It was the journalist, by the way, who discovered that this happened. They didn't even know. They didn't know that they added him on accident. He left and then informed the public. They didn't even know the entire time. It's not like, in other words, he was sitting there and then, Rubio said, hey, wait a second, who's this guy? I don't recognize that number. And they removed him. They didn't even notice he was there. He said that he left the group chat because he felt like it was compromising national security. He left voluntarily. Imagine if he was a bad actor. This is our government. And this is a story. This is from the New York Times. It says, quote, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth disclosed war plans in an encrypted group chat that included journalists 2 hours before U.S. troops launched attacks against the Houthi militia in Yemen. The editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, wrote that he was mistakenly added to the text chat on Signal by Michael Waltz, the national security advisor. Not only was the journalist inadvertently included in the group, but the conversation also took place outside of the secure government channels that would normally be used for classified and highly sensitive war planning. Mr. Goldberg said he was able to follow the conversation among senior members of President Trump's national security team in the 2 days leading up to the strikes in Yemen. The group also included Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. 2 days he was in there. At 11:44 a.m. on March 15th, Mr. Hegseth posted the operational details of forthcoming strikes on Yemen, including information about targets, weapons, and attack sequencing, said Goldberg. The information contained in them, if they had been read by an adversary of the United States, could conceivably have been used to harm American military and intelligence personnel, particularly in the broader Middle East. In an interview, Mr. Goldberg said that up until the Hegseth text on Saturday, it was mainly procedural and policy texting. Then it became war plans. And to be honest, he said, that sent a chill down my spine. Mr. Hegseth, said Goldberg, said that the first detonations in Yemen would be felt 2 hours hence at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time, so I waited in my car in a supermarket parking lot. If this signal chat was real, I reasoned, Houthi targets would soon be bombed. At around 1:55, initial airstrikes hit buildings and neighborhoods in and around the capital of Yemen. There were known Houthi leadership strongholds, according to Pentagon officials and residents. Mr. Hegseth, said Goldberg, declared to the group, which included the journalist, that steps were taken to keep the information secret. He said, we are currently clean on OPSEC, using the military acronym for operational security. Several Defense Department officials expressed shock that Mr. Hegseth had put American war plans into a commercial chat group. They said that having this type of conversation in a signal chat itself could be a violation of the Espionage Act. So how does this happen? They created a signal group chat. Keep in mind, these are literally the highest ranking officials in the United States government. This is the Vice President of the United States, the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, the National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz. Stephen Miller was in there. And then they accidentally added the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg. And you wonder, let's say this is real. So first of all, we know it is real. The White House confirmed it is an authentic leak. They're downplaying it. They're saying, well, it's really not a big deal. Mike Johnson commented on it. The White House, Trump commented on it. They said, oh, it's no big deal. So it is real. But assuming it is, let's say, authentic, it's sincere. It's sort of funny. I wonder, did they add Goldberg? Was there supposed to be some other Goldberg? Was somebody scrolling through their contacts and said, oh, there's Jeffrey Goldberg? Was it a different Goldberg they needed to add to the call? It's kind of funny, like, who is this apparently other Jewish person who was supposed to be on the text chain? We don't even know. Otherwise, how else does it happen? Did somebody just misclick? Somebody scroll? You can imagine J.D. Vance is scrolling through his phone on Signal. Okay, Pete, Marco, Mike, let's see, Steven. And then what? Like they accidentally selected it. You know how like sometimes you're scrolling through your camera roll and you accidentally highlight a picture? Was it like that? I mean, how does that even happen? And then they're in a Signal group chat like there's not a government app for this. So they're planning out how to bomb Yemen on the same app that you're like texting memes on to your friend. Like, could they do this in a Twitter group chat? They're on like their official Twitter account. Hey, all right, this is a group chat. Let's make a profile picture. Let's make a group photo for the group. We'll give it a name. How is this even happening? And then you wonder, was it staged? We're assuming that it's authentic. And that would give you a lot of, there'd be a lot of questions. Like why? Why would they be debating this or discussing this on Signal? Seems a little bizarre. And then you ask, how do they add somebody by accident? I mean, it literally, if it's authentic, it must have been a misclick. That had to be what it was. scrolling and accidentally tapped the wrong person. And then you almost wonder if it's not fake, but staged. Was this, in other words, some sort of performance? And you read through some of the messages and they don't seem real. The way that they're talking to each other, it almost doesn't seem like how they would really be talking to each other. And other people have commented on this as well. The actual specific text messages, they don't actually sound like real officials discussing military plans. It almost reads as though it was written for public disclosure, as if they knew it would be read by the public. It reads as though they're writing like they're cognizant of the fact that it is public. It almost reads too sterile, too manicured, too maybe robotic. It almost sounds artificial. And then you wonder why that might be. And I think about specifically there was an exchange. So let's talk about the strikes in general. After the Gaza ceasefire fell apart at the beginning of this month, Israel began bombing Hamas and ostensibly all Palestinians again in Gaza. The Houthi rebels in Yemen began bombing shipping in the Red Sea. Who cares? The United States restarted its campaign then against the Houthis. And we did this major, like I said, we did this major airstrike. It is still ongoing, actually. We're bombing them every day. We're bombing the households of the leadership, the headquarters of the leadership. We're bombing their port cities. It's brutal. And there's been a lot of criticism of the administration. People say this is another war. Trump ran on the promise that there would be no new wars. He's a peacemaker. Well, here we are. This is the third country the United States has bombed. Somalia, Syria, now Yemen. And now we're involved in what is effectively an open-ended conflict with no end in sight in Yemen, which has a very high likelihood of potentially spinning out of control and expanding into other conflicts like in Iraq or in Iran or elsewhere. So when the strikes happened, there was a lot of backlash. And people said, we didn't elect Trump to bomb Yemen. As a matter of fact, we elected Trump so that we would stop bombing countries in the Middle East. That's why we elected him the first time also. Well, inside these text messages, there's a text from J.D. Vance. Out of the whole group, you have Walsh, you have Rubio, you've got Miller, you've got a bunch of other people, you've got Vance. Out of the whole group, Vance is the only one that expresses any degree of skepticism. He's the only one that second guesses the strikes. And Vance says, well, I'm not going to say anything publicly. I'll go along with it. He says, but I think we should wait. He said 3% of the trade that goes through the Strait of Hormuz, the Suez Canal, he said 3% of that trade is American, 20% of it is European. He said, it's not really our business. He said, I don't want to bail out the Europeans again. They're freeloaders. Why bail out the Europeans? He says, so I don't know if I support this. I think we should wait. This isn't America first, he's effectively saying. He says, but I'll go with it if this is what the president decides. And Pete Hegseth comes in and says, yeah, I'm sick of the freeloaders too, but this is about freedom of navigation, and this is about sending a message, and this and that. The only concern that they express, by the way, is that Saudi Arabia might be affected. This is something I've talked about on the show a lot. The risk of escalation with the Houthis is that the Houthis will re-engage Saudi Arabia. The Houthis were in a brutal war with Saudi Arabia for years. And the reason this was problematic for the United States is because the Houthis were bombing Saudi Arabia's oil fields. And so if missiles from the Houthis are raining down on Saudi Arabia, this is not good for foreign investment. Saudi Arabia is trying to attract investment. They're trying to translate their oil wealth into long-term prosperity. It's not good for that. But it's also bad for oil prices. It sends oil prices skyrocketing because it harms their ability to produce and export oil. So the Houthis previously were targeting two pressure points for the United States, Israel, and Europe. In the past year, they've been targeting Red Sea shipping. But since Biden forced a truce between Saudi Arabia and Yemen and took the Houthis off the terrorist state sponsors of terrorism list or terrorist watch list, they were at war with Saudi Arabia, and they were putting pressure on us by bombing Saudi Arabia's oil fields. That was the only concern that Vance expressed. He said, well, we just need to make sure the Saudis are taken care of. He said, I don't think we should do it. Our trade isn't really affected that much. He said, I'm just concerned about, and what about Saudi Arabia? What if they get hit? Oh, imagine that. You know, Israel is slaughtering these Palestinians, and Saudi Arabia is patiently waiting it out so they can make a deal with the devil. That's what's going on. Saudi Arabia was on their way to making a normalization deal with Israel, where Saudi Arabia would establish a diplomatic relationship and recognize Israel. In exchange, they would get a defensive treaty with the United States, like a NATO-level security guarantee. Plus, they'd be brought into IMEC and attract a ton of investment. So Saudi Arabia, that was derailed after October 7th. They're waiting for all the Palestinians to be genocided. They're not going to do a thing about it. They're waiting for that to end so that then they can make a deal with Netanyahu and then get all the money. And J.D. Vance is worried about, I hope this doesn't spill over into Saudi Arabia. And I almost wonder if the messages were leaked. Maybe this is crazy. Admittedly, this is speculation, pure speculation. This is not by any stretch, obvious or supported by the evidence. This is speculative. I almost wonder if the messages were leaked to make Vance look good. I almost wonder if that was put out there so that Vance looks like he wasn't going along with it, to sort of protect his reputation. To say, hey, look, Vance is sticking up for us. Vance is more America first than Trump. Trump and all these other guys want to go to war with Yemen, but Vance protested, and the only reason he went along with it was to be a team player. I almost wonder if it was leaked to make him look good. Or conversely, I wonder if it was leaked to make Mike Waltz look bad. Mike Waltz, the national security advisor, he is the one that added the journalist to the group chat. So that means, by the way, that if he added the journalist, it's his responsibility. If there's an espionage act, if there's legal culpability, it's his fault. That's an almost fireable offense. If this turns into a big scandal, if this ever became a real problem, that would be like grounds for dismissal. Does somebody want Mike Waltz out? I can think of some people that would want him out. What's more, inside that clique of like Vance, Waltz, Rubio, Hegseth, they say that Waltz is the most neocon. They say that he is the most aggressive, the most interventionist, and he's the one pushing for the strikes. I wonder, did they put this out there to put him on blast for that reason too? So the whole thing is a little bit weird. I don't necessarily trust it, and I think it's real. I think it's a real leak. The question is whether or not it was staged, and whether or not this is some sort of power play by somebody inside the administration. And then the question is, to what end? Is this to make someone look good? Is this to try to jettison somebody from the team? I think just based on what is inside the texts, the most obvious conclusion is either it was there to make Vance look good and Waltz look bad. Maybe it was created by someone from Vance's team, and that's why it makes Vance look good. Maybe it's by someone on Vance's team trying to get Waltz out, and in the process, it just happens to make JD look like the America First guy. And there is a little-known rivalry. The rumor that I heard before I'll let you in on some of the inside baseball. You're not going to hear this on another show, because other people aren't privy to this information. But here's the rumor. Before the election, the rumor is that Michael Anton was going to have this job. Michael Anton was going to be the national security advisor. Michael Anton is famous for writing the Flight 93 election article. He was at Claremont. Longtime ally of Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel got Anton into the first Trump administration. And of course, Vance is a protege of Peter Thiel. And the rumor was that the national security advisor job was Michael Anton's. Allegedly, he was going to get it. And then during the transition, he lost the power struggle to Mike Waltz. Mike Waltz got the job and Anton didn't. And allegedly, Anton was beside himself. He was furious they didn't get the job. And of course, Anton comes from the Peter Thiel faction. He comes from the Peter Thiel wing. It's a very important job. National Security Council is like the most prestigious group. When you're talking about personnel in the White House and the administration, at the very bottom, you have the BS departments. Like, I don't even want to say, because like I know people in some of them, but like, you're talking about like the Department of the Interior and like Department of Agriculture. It's like Department of Transportation. There's not a lot of people that want to work in those departments. National Security Council is like the most prestigious position. It's not glamorous. It's not a great job. You have to go into like a windowless room and you're just like doing policy all day. But for personnel, that is like the dream job because that is how you climb your way up the ladder. Anything related to State Department, Defense Department, and anything that liaises with the White House, which is what the NSC does, it's prestigious. So Anton wanted that job. Apparently, Anton was promised that job. He got passed over for Waltz. You almost wonder, since Waltz is the one that added the journalist to the group chat, maybe it's real, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's completely fake. Maybe it's real, but it's staged. But none of this seems like it's authentic. Now, there's something strange, maybe, but the idea that the vice president and the secretary of state and the secretary of defense created a group chat and they're like, hey guys, ready to bomb Yemen? They're literally texting each other emojis during the bombing. Mike Waltz and Hegseth are literally texting emojis like muscle emoji, American bang emoji. They're literally texting strings of emojis while the strikes are going on. Somehow I don't think that's, for one reason or another, I don't think that's real. They're on an encrypted third-party messaging app. They're in a group chat. They're like, hey, are we ready to bomb Yemen? I don't know. It doesn't seem America first. It doesn't seem Groiper America first. Oh, come on. I fucking hate the Europeans too, but this is about sending a message. Something about it doesn't seem right. And since Waltz is the one who added the journalist, since if this is fake in any way, he would be the one culpable, you'd have to say maybe it's some sort of op to knock him out of orbit. And who would want him gone? And I saw some of the anti-war, it's a lot of the anti-war types. Like I would imagine it's the Tucker Carlson types. It's people like Kurt Mills was talking about it. Kurt Mills has been around these guys forever. They are all very anti-Waltz and have been talking badly about Waltz. You also have imminently, potentially a war with Iran that they're trying to stop. You almost wonder in this like very critical time, is this a very bold attempt to oust him from the inner circle to replace him with somebody from a different faction? I wonder if that's what's happening here. But that's all speculation. By no means is any of that 100% or even 90%. I mean, that's all just a theory, but we'll have to wait and see what else comes out. If there's any more information about how this came to be, if we get any more public comments, if there's any fallout. The whole thing seems very strange. I don't know if I believe it. I don't know if I buy that it's what they're saying it is. It seems like theater. If anybody loses their job. But that's that. That is about how this came to be. If we get any more public comments, if there's any fallout. The whole thing seems very strange. I don't know if I believe it. I don't know if I buy that it's what they're saying it is. It seems like theater. So we'll see if anybody loses their job. But that's that. That is the strike in Yemen and the Signal group chat. Weird deal. But with that, we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at our super chats. We'll see what you guys have to say about all this. Let me get set up. We'll take a look. All right, let's see.
Omega Friend sent $10. The Chinese guy who keeps super chatting about me has Napoleon complex and is still seething because I made fun of his height. That's why he is throwing hundreds of dollars at you to try to drag you into this. He's also a passport bro because he's too ugly to get women in America.
Okay, I'm not really following along with all that.
Brother 12 sent $10. Currently going to school to get a political science degree and will soon be going to law school. Looking forward to hopefully working for you in the future. Thanks for all you do.
Good. Good. I love to hear that. Honestly, get law degrees. Ugh, it's like some dust in my water or something. People are always asking me, how can I help the movement? How could I help the movement? Oh, come to a meet and greet and take a picture of me. The way that you help the movement, if you're a young person, go to college. You want to help the movement? Go to college. Get a degree, get a law degree, and work in politics. Work in politics, work in tech. The best thing you could do for the movement is to develop political influence and connections or make a ton of money. Those are the things you can do. Because those are the things the political movement lives and dies on, is resources, connections, and that's really it. That's really it. You know, people are like, and look, respectfully, somebody said the other day I was hating on people from the trades. I like people from the trades, but we're involved in a political movement during technological singularity. What we need are like a cadre of like bureaucrat types, political lawyer types, people that know that if you could, that could be plugged into government and work well. Like when we're talking about filling up the White House, who do you think we're talking about filling the White House with? We're talking about, we want to get our personnel in the White House. You know, the White House doesn't need a ton of tradesmen. I know that sounds shitty. There's no way to say it that doesn't sound shitty. People say, oh, I'm in the trades, or I do this, or I do that. It's like, okay, but think about what a political movement needs. What a political movement needs is, you know, strictly speaking, political expertise. Like in the purest form, it's a cadre of revolutionaries that are going to literally run the fucking government. That means bureaucrats. That means lawyers. That means people with poli-sci degrees. That means people that are in the civil service. That means people that are working in the various departments and agencies. So if you can't see yourself working there, that's a problem. On the other side of it, well, who donates to where's the money being made? And who's donating to the campaigns? It's tech. You want to make it big? I mean, you can either be independently wealthy from your own industry, but the big thing, what's really influential, are these industries that are close to the government, which is tech. The industries that are closest to the government is national security, defense, and that's all tech right now. I mean, in the old days, it was like, you know, Lockheed Martin. As time goes on, it's going to be Anduril. It's going to be Palantir. It's going to be these venture capital types. Like the government's being filled up by Andreessen Horowitz. So that's helpful. And then on the other side is media. We do media. You know, we're just good for a lot of things. So anything digital, anything with cameras, anything with editing, audio, video. And those are really the skill sets. So that's just a little add-on. So good for you, but I'm glad to hear that. You know, I don't even want to say more than I should right now, but I feel like we're in a better position than ever. We are an invisible empire.
Okay. All right. I'm done for the day. We're at 632. We started with 400. We're done. This looks like it's gonna go up again. Right now, it's just looking for discount. We're in the lunch macro. About to hit the lunch macro. I'm gonna go lay down for a little bit. before my appointment, and I'll see